Red leg. Hey, red leg. You know how you always tell me to quit being a little sour ass and get into the Christmas spirit, and I need to be happy and quit being a fucking Grinch? I got the perfect thing on the ho 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 ho. Merry kiss my ass.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right, just doing your normal warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Action Badge.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll. You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
At the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, what's going on? Welcome to Sergeant's Time this 21 of December 2017. We're almost done with the year. I decided to throw in J. Reddy's classic 12 Days of Christmas on the mix there. I figured you guys would like that. Sorry for the long intros, but what the fuck? Come on, it's a damn good fucking skit. I wish I had such musical talents like that of J. Reddy. Fortunately, no. Anyways, so welcome to Sergeant's Time. This is the day where we talk about active duty shit and, Army shit, main page shit. We have a guest coming on at 2100. He's going to be Chris Baity from Semper Canine Assistance Dogs. And he'll be on the show to talk about what he's got going on and what he's doing. Oh, Merry Christmas. Well, thanks. Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so what you doing for Christmas, Ma?
Just not a whole lot. Hey, y'all, Merry Christmas. I don't think I'll be back on before Christmas. So, yeah, we're just kind of keeping it low-key. We're just doing family, with ourselves. I'm having a cocktail party Saturday.
Ugh.
With the other Dependas in the neighborhood.
Oh, Dependas.
Maybe.
Uh-huh. Yes, the Dependa of the Dependaville there in your Dependaville that you're depending in on. So,
I guess whatever.
If you want to call it that.
Dependas bitching, right?
Yeah, 5 Dependas bitches or 3s or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna go on leave next week and then go goof off and do whatever. However, there's been a lot of interesting items going on. Apparently now, there's been a lot, just for some reason this year, there's been a lot of, how can I say this? Additional bureaucracy that units are placing on their soldiers before they go on leave. So let's put it this way. It used to be back in the day that you had a leave form and all you had attached to it was an LES. And the reason why is that way it was proving to your platoon sergeant and your first sergeant that you had the days that was on said form, so that way it went up. You gave it to the oiler room clerk. First sergeant, even though the commander was the one that approved it, the first sergeant was the QC to make sure that all days were matching, everything was good to go, and it went up, right? She said a cocktail party. That's what kind of tail it was. Dependent tail party. I don't know. Anyways, so I digress. The so back in the day it was just that. It was just a copy of your LES. Now I had LESs back in the day that were green bar. They were printed on green paper and shit, and they're all big and mistyped. You didn't know if you were getting money deducted or paid, but anyways. And then your DA-31 had to be typed, and it was on a triple carbon, quadruple carbon document, and that. Anyways, so you always had a stack of them shits there. So you'd fill that out, and that's all you fucking needed. Now there appears to be some sort of bureaucratic, the bureaucratic drama where now instead of the fuckers just doing the normal, DA-31 and an LES, you have to do a trips report, a vehicle POV inspection report, another report. Their MedPros has got to be up. They have to make sure they knock out all their online training. So there's like a stack of crap, a stack of shit for these guys to do it. We've been getting a lot of traffic on the radio and the U.S. Army WTF Moments page as well of units stopping. And these are like guys that are getting ready to go on leave, stopping units from going on leave. They're literally commanders like, no, you can't go on leave. Why? Well, you didn't fill this thing and you didn't put a TPS report on it. Let's put it that way. You didn't put a cover sheet on your TPS reports. And that's why the commander has already fucking pointed that shit. Well, think about it. You've already paid for your ticket. It's already gone up. So leaders, it would be assumed, just like you like to tell soldiers about implied tasks. Here's an implied task that the soldier is thinking when he sends it up. The soldier thinks that the implied task for leadership is that the documents go up, they get checked out, he buys his ticket because he sees it goes up and it says it's that battalion, right? And it's ready to go. Then all of a sudden, something comes back. The soldier's bought his ticket because the platoon sergeant or the first sergeant have neglected to tell the soldier that we never sent it up to the battalion, but the soldier's already bought the ticket. And the words that pisses me off, I've heard platoon sergeants tell Joes is, I guess you got to eat the ticket.
I would be pissed.
Oh yeah, would you piss? Who'd be pissed? Would you be pissed? I'd be pissed.
I would be fucking livid. I mean, especially if if he or his family, they saved up that money to go home, to fly home, and they haven't been in years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't forget to call the units. What's that? Call their auto insurance is current. What? What do you mean? Whoa, damn. They have to, they call. They do that, man. Fuck that. No. See, that's fucked up. You know, that is fucked up. And that's what's happening. That is currently what is going on in Armydom today. Sergeants are not processing the leave forms right now. Someone was like, Ice, could you please talk about this on, post this on the main page and talk about this and all that. I'll do better. I'll say it. If a soldier submitted something to you, it is assumed that you are going to turn in the packet and it's going to get processed up, right? That's what the soldier, just like you leaders like to talk about implied tasks. Well, here is what your implied task is when a soldier turns in their shit. At the same time, they said, oh, you got to, because you know how now lately, I mean, I don't know if your husband deals with this at the fucking unit, but I've squashed or I have dimed out motherfuckers that like to do that. Well, you got to submit it 10 days prior.
Yeah, we've dealt with that.
That drives me up the... You know what drives me up the fucking wall? You know what really grinds my gears? What drives me up the wall with that is... yeah, but we were in Korea, so I guess it's an excuse. What drives me up the wall was that right there, 10 days prior on a leave form is the sound of... That's like grating teeth. That's like grinding teeth. That's like fucking running your fingernails across a fucking chalkboard. That's like a mechanic saying operator level. You know what I mean? That's what fucking... That's what fucking... Exactly that. How hard it is. How hard is it to process a DA-31?
Apparently it's rocket science.
Or strategy.
Yeah, that too.
So, and that's what soldiers want to do. They want to fucking take leave. So then when it's time to fucking take leave, and it's time to do fucking block leave, and everyone's like, oh, how come the soldier didn't have this fucking shit done? You didn't let him go on leave because you said tonight. And then guess what else happens? Then the leadership is scrounging around trying to find out who's going to do the last minute taskings for the duty roster. And the next thing you know, those soldiers that got their fucking shit jacked up. Sergeants, it is your responsibility to make sure that shit rickety tick gets to the fucking platoon sergeant and platoon sergeants. You make sure you get it to us first sergeants and the guys up there because it's easy shit.
Oh, I mean, because of that, there's been I don't know how many times.
That's right, Spencer. It is your responsibility it's one of those things. NCOing, sergeanting is pretty fucking easy. It's almost has a Reagan-esque doctrine to it. Trust but verify. Pretty fucking easy. It's our job as sergeants. When you start saying, I'm not saying you guys are saying in the chat, but I hear this. I've been hearing this fucking week and it's been pissing me off. When you have that soldier should have realized, motherfucker, he's a private. He's never filled out a goddamn leave form. He's having 5 different sergeants telling him how to fill out a document that only requires a commander's signature. Well, first aren't eyes. How come you got to look at it? Like I said, I'm just making sure that you got the damn days to go up on that fucking leave form. So that way when the CO is about ready to sign it, he looks up he looks at the certain spot that I signed. There's a special place that I signed on the leave form. So that way my commander knows that I saw it. That way he knows, oh, thank you, Ice. Did you see the leave form? Look for my initials. And then he looks at it and he's like, that's how I know if my first sergeant has seen this document. Because I say, hey, sir, if I seen it and it's within regs and it's not going to matter with this processing of this document, I put a check mark right here. I sign it right here. Or I do whatever. I put my own little special secret ice sauce on there. And that's it. Too easy.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's like with the turkey penis. Never mind.
Yeah, turkey penis. So we got people that are talking about that in the office, saying that every fucking week, they're spending an afternoon putting together a fucking leave packet, and some of them don't even want to deal with it because it becomes a goddamn scavenger hunt. Well, you better make sure that this is done and this is done. Hey, first sergeants. Hey, platoon sergeants, did you know that the Army has created systems for you as leaders to check and see who's got fucked up med pros, to check and see on who's got fucked up, training or JKO or whatever. There are databases and systems out there for you, first sergeants and CSMs and SGMs, to check. So that way you could say, oh, this company's fucked up. You better have this shit. But don't hold a fucking leave against them. That's bullshit. You've been out 10 years and still, yeah, same here, man. Same here, dude. And the S1, the last time I checked, the S1 doesn't command the fucking unit. The commander does. He's not the one, he or she, the S1 OIC, is not the one that's going to be fucking, putting all this shit together. It's fucking crock. Get me all fucking pumped up. So done with that shit. Cause. The Ice Mushroom Stamp. Buy one on Amazon. Amazon Prime.
Boy.
Yeah, you can get one. That fucking poor kids, man. I feel sorry for the kids. And then when it comes to time to... I see, because I've seen it happen. I have seen first sergeants, being an ops sergeant major. I have seen first sergeants that will sit there and fucking hoard fucking Joes and hoard their leave and protect them and move them over here because I need them for this. And as a first sergeant, I've seen platoon sergeants do the same thing. Damn, I always see the guy on detail. How come you know it? Because, first sergeant, you are supposed to, know your Joes. How come I always see this dude on detail? Well, first sergeant, the thing is that soldier, this. Well, how come you're going on leave and he's not? Well, first sergeant, I get all that shit. And then exactly that. Then you go to battalion and got to sign out paperwork. Guess what? Stood up a fucking policy in my command, which I won't say. You just got to fucking call in. If you're a certain sergeanting and above, you get to call in. And that rank is staff sergeant. Sorry, just comment. They're just some Army things that you Army have to do when you Armying to go on leave. That's just a fucking check and balance. It's a responsibility and accountability item that you, when you become a great sergeant and you start sergeanting at the rank of sergeant first class or master sergeant or sergeant major or command sergeant major, then you will be able to say, oh, maybe I ought to do that. I remember I said on Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence, after he played Jada Reed's song, talking about leave. Don't fuck your soldiers over on leave. Because if you do, then the soldiers are going to remember that. And trust me,
Yep.
Soldiers are going to remember that.
Especially if you tell them you're going to have to eat the price of that
Oh
ticket.
my God. Well, let me tell you a story. Grandpa Ice, as in my dad, was told the same thing back in the Nam. Like literally, this is like he came back from Vietnam. You can't go on leave. Why? Because you didn't do your integration and reintegration shit from Nam. No shit. This is what they did in fucking Vietnam. After Vietnam. So everyone thinks about, in Vietnam we learned our lessons. Bullshit. At the duty station where my dad was stationed at, he was only about a few hours away. And there was a family, and it just seemed like in our family that during Christmas time, there was always somebody, it's always typical. You always have somebody ailing or something like that during Christmas time, right? Well, that's what happened. Exactly what happened. My dad had an issue. He had to go. You know what they fucking said? Eat a fucking ticket. Eat the ticket. Or no, it'll take too long. Forgot. I need to be back for this detail. So my dad said, deal. Wouldn't want to be you. My dad enjoyed his own 4-day weekend. And this is back before cell phones. This is like the 1960s. So this was back like no shit. He jumped into his 1957 Chevy and fucking took off and hauled ass or his truck. I can't remember what he had a truck or something like that. I can't remember. Anyways, but he drove down and saw his family member, and then of course, that was it. So when he came back from fucking leave, got busted again. Because just like now, if you have been deployed, you're treated as second-class citizens. It's just like happening in Vietnam. It's happening now. You get treated like second-class citizens. I'm sorry, I've seen it. So you have the have and have not deployed. How about that? And it fucking drives me up the wall. So it's create this class system. So my dad went down, visited the family, hung out, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that the Army let you go." My dad's like, "Fuck that." Family comes first. Family comes first. I'm sorry. And the moral of Ice and his stories of what he's trying to tell you when you're sergeanting is that if you put a soldier in a position of family, at the exception of a wife, you can always get another one. No, I'm just kidding. then you fucking, because what if your relationship's good? Then you as a leader have placed yourself in a dilemma that you may not circa 1945. Come on, dude. I said no, I'm not World War II. Oh man. What I'm saying though is that you place that soldier in a position where he has to choose between the army and the family. And that's why right now it's really hard for soldiers to be in the military, and they have those. The Army has created with our young commissioned leadership, our young captains and our young lieutenants, so zero defect that they're so worried that they're going to piss off their fucking raider that they're going to get underblocked or, mid-block or center mass or whatever the fucking officer talk you want to have. They're not going to look good. The culture of the zero defect Army is coming back. And I'll tell you this why. I joined the Army in the 80s, okay? And I'm still in. You have individuals that back in the day thought that it was great that if your office light was still on when your boss was leaving, then that just goes to show that Bob is working hard. Bob is getting shit done. Hey, Frank, you see Bob? Yeah, I see Bob, man. Look at that. Look at that.
Why can't you be like Bob?
Yeah, why should you be like Bob? See, and actually in the officer world, in officerdom, it's the same way. It's all looking good. Well, now sergeants are now going through the same fucking class system. Oh, yes, indeed. Did you see him before like that? Yes, obviously, clearly not a good leader if he leaves home at, I take that back. Actually, there are first sergeants and CSMs and SGMs that go home way before their fucking soldiers do. I know because I see it in the inbox. Or I'll get an email at ice@wtfnationradio.com. Ice, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? Wow, what happened? Well, first sergeant said, well, really? Oh, okay. What do you do? You want soldiers to respect you? Well, guess what? Well, a lot of the soldiers don't respect us now because of blah, 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 blah. It's the big circle of Army life. So it's not, again, it's not one of those things to where everyone's, whoa, I should just reminisce the good old days. Nah, I'm seeing history repeat itself. About as fucked up as a statue coming down.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, did I go there?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, dude. That's right. Bang the trash can and shit. Exactly that. Screaming fucking... Eric, come on, man. Give me some love, bro. We don't bang the trash can anymore. We don't even have squad bays anymore. Soldiers have we have dorms. Hi, welcome to the... Yeah, exactly. Sergeant's time in 20 years. Hi, welcome to Sergeant's time. Today in Pimp My Dorm, we have Sergeant, but we call him Frank. Come on, Eric, give me some shit. You're talking to yourself? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, dude. You're gonna look back. This is zero defect Army now. The Army's going to zero defect. I don't want to cause gloom and doom and all that stuff, but when I've been in the Army long enough to say that, it's because I've seen the cycle of life come by when it comes to the big Army circle. Back when there was that, and again, shit, I don't even remember. I mean, fuck. See, the Sergeant Major of the Army when I was in, I date myself. Sergeant Major of the Army kid. Yeah, Sergeant's time will all be online, exactly. Sergeant Major of the Army kid, Richard Kidd, actually stopped me from ETSing. And there's only a couple people that know this, but they're already out, so it's okay. It's not going to blow my purse sec. I was considering ETSing back in the day before Sergeant Major of the Army kid visited the installation where I was at and talked me out of it. Talked me out of ETSing, Sergeant Major of the Army kid. Wasn't until I fucking realized that Sergeant Major of the Army kid, when he was in, we were in BDUs and shit when he was talking, and we were wearing our field jackets, and we were it was cold, and he fucking was walking around, and then I saw his picture up in the fucking on the thing, and he was, I mean, everything that you saw, he was strapped, he was fucking good to go. He wasn't Big Sarge. Big Sarge is the fucking do as I say, not as I do type fucking leader. The guy that would always have his hands on his hips pointing, but would have the cleanest uniform while the Joes are fucking sitting there with their tops off, fucking sweating their ass off, putting a tent up or setting up the talk or trying to get fucking vehicles maintained. But there's Big Sarge with his hat all fucking nice and pressed and clean, uniform all fucking, this is back in the day, back in the day. Well, fuck, people are fucking starting to start their fucking uniforms now. And if they could fucking shine these brown boots, they probably would too. But they're fucking squared away, right? No way, dude. No way. Don't see a bit on Facebook about soldier who was told that you have to go to more than 12 hours behavior, you will be med warded. Yeah, I did see that.
I must have missed that one.
No, there lately now, because the Army's jumping up and down on how they want to treat. There's no protocol for medical treatment, specifically when it comes to, when you look at this, look at it like this. The Army wants to keep people in, but they don't want to keep broken people in. And all, disarming the Army kid. Disarming the Army, that's a good question. Disarming the Army kid get credit for the retention? No, but he was there to watch me re-enlist. This is back before digital cameras, so it was the old flash bulbs and shit that had that dude behind the fucking cloak and behind the camera, and he's like, "All right, everybody hold still," and it fucking lit up. It was all black and white and shit, and I had to write back home, "My dearest mother, today I re-enlisted in the greatest fighting force that this country has ever seen. Several men today were at behest of my abeam on the joining of my continued service in this United States Army. Sorry, but no, it was he didn't get credit for that. But the whole point being is that the Army's now starting to turn. They want to keep soldiers in, and they're talking about taking care of the soldier, but then all of a sudden, guess what fucking happens? But you can't be broke. See, once you're broke and we broke you, you're a fucking shitbag. That's what soldiers are getting right now. And then you have armchair fucking doctors that are called commanders that seem to think that they know what's diagnosed with you when you're fucked up. So you have a broken arm? I don't think so. You just need to fucking take some Motrin. Go see the PA. Go see the PA. Let me get this straight. You want me to go see a nurse when my arm is in a funky position and there's a bone sticking out of the top of it, and you want me to just fucking take Motrin? Now, of course, there are some great officers in there. There's some great officers in the unit. Great PAs. I'm not saying they're all of them are like that. I'm just giving you the specific scenario to what these soldiers have been dealing with. We've neglected them. To the point to where, back to the Army circle of life, that I have overheard and have gone completely ballistic on commanders that have said, well, the VA will take care of them. And I'm like, you fuck. I mean, I can't obviously call a captain in front of a fucking colonel or lieutenant colonel a fuck.
Well, see how well the VA takes care of our soldiers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No, but what I'm saying though is that they don't see them through. They don't see this through at all. So if a soldier is being fucking, it doesn't matter if the soldier's in AIT, basic training or whatever. Once the Army has broken you, like if the Army had told you, you need to do this, you need to do that, but they didn't train you to it, just like these poor kids that go ruck marching for no fucking reason. Kids have never seen a rucksack in their whole fucking life, and all of a sudden you have, Big Sarge, you better put that ruck on there, because back in WW9 when I was in, I humped 15 miles with, 85 pounds, and the guy's a fueler, you know what I mean? But he wants to kill the privates. And he breaks the privates, and guess what? The privates are now going to fucking do that. And of course, to speed the process along, they don't want to have no secondary care or off-post care to get these soldiers fixed. And then when it's time to get these soldiers fucking seen, then no, go see the PA and the PA. So you want me to go see again? Nothing against. There's some great nurses out there. You want me to go see a fucking PA, not a fucking doctor. I don't ever say with all due respect. I'll just say, really, sir? That's kind of fucked up, sir. I don't call anybody names. Yeah, or specialist. Go see somebody. Go see somebody. But the care right now, and that's the problem. Now, we'll say this. That new Security Forces Assistance Brigade, the RSOF community, when we had Task Force Dagger coming on, they have check this out, the SVAB. They're talking about starting up the same program RSOF is doing. The Thor 3, the rehabilitated program. We need to get those guys. Mom, see about getting those guys on there, man. Those guys are the
Which
shit.
guys? I'm sorry. I was talking to our guest.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, well, okay, hang on. Oh, well, no, I did not receive. So anyways, what they're doing is that they're considering sports treatment, just like the RSOF guys. The special ops dudes, when they get fucking hurt, it's mandated in their policy that they get fucking fixed. They get untouched by their commands. They get told, hey, this guy's got it. So you're treated, you got fucking true specialists. I got a friend that's going through this. I got 3 friends, actually, that go through this fucking shit. And it's amazing. Let me get this straight. You got fucked up? Mm-hmm. And the unit let you go. It's mandatory. Then what? They rehab you. Well, then what happens if you get fixed? Then you go back to the unit. No damage, no nothing, no fucking med board? No. Really? What happens if they don't fix you? Then they have the Care Coalition to fucking... Remember Task Force Dagger, the guy who was talking to us. David. Those guys were talking to us too. I was like, wow, I didn't fucking know that. Hey, this is Ice. Who's this? Ice from WTF Nation Radio. Okay, let me try another phone number here. So if that is what's going to happen, if the SVAB is doing this, if a special unit, if these specialized units are doing this shit, what's wrong, Army? Don't we have the Surgeon General of the Army? Why haven't you not implemented this force-wide throughout the entire enterprise? That if you break a soldier, it's bad enough you got to fucking make him do a leave form anyways, with, in triplicates, with TPS reports, covers, and then you have, firstborn, birth certificates, and also the shit on there. And then you got to do med pros, and you got to trips, and then you got to do that. There's somebody trying to tell me that I had to do a trips report for fucking, for flying. I'm like, I'm not a pilot. Like, I really am fucking... I'm flying somewhere and someone's going to pick me up. I don't have a car. I'm going to go meet somebody. It's at the airport. Somebody's going to pick me up. Well, I need a trips report. How am I going to fucking do 747? The hell? How did you get that? Hello?
I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm front desking.
I know you're front desky, but I'm not seeing no front deskings. Hang on, let me look at this fucking note that you just sent me.
It's been sent.
Hang on.
You see, guys, what he has to deal with?
Yeah, exactly. Still got to deal with it. I got to deal with this fucking drama. So anyways, I got it. I'm accepting it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, ass. So they do that shit. So I called them. I called 3 different phone numbers there. I'm like, is this really fucking happening? Do you guys really do this? And finally somebody picked up the phone, say, hey, look, brother, I'm not gonna I don't know who the fuck you are. I heard you guys on fucking on What the Fuck Moments. You guys are fucking funny. I will say this. Yes, this program exists. Is that it? That really does happen. We have this program. Just like fucking Keith said from Task Force Dagger. All right, cool, thanks. So it's verified. They do that. They didn't want to talk. Because they thought I was like conning them or something like that. So if the Army fucked you up and the Army broke you, don't you think it's kind of like one of those, well, we owe it. Don't you hear it? Don't you hate it? See, you got me on a fucking bitter tip right now. Break out the salt shaker type shit. We owe it to our soldiers. Well, how come you don't owe it to your soldiers when it comes to fixing them when they're fucking broken that you broke them? Can't have that. We got to send them to GRTC. From my house to the airport. No, I take a cab. Well, actually, I get a ride. Usually, I take a ride and then, anyways. So yeah, stupid trip reports. I don't want to fucking do that. But they want you to do that. I need to do a trips report, and I need to do a fucking POV inspection for the 747 airplane you're flying. But, yeah, again, it's one of those things. If you're not going to sit there and you're not, we owe it to the soldiers bullshit on any other crap, owe it to the soldiers. That is legit. Don't fucking, and as a first sergeant, take that into consideration when a soldier comes up to you and says, Hey, are you good? I think I just kind of like banged myself when, when you saw him do some training and he fucking fell down the stairs or something like that, or you see him limping around or something. Dude, you okay? Fucking, who cares? Who the fuck cares? He's your soldier, but he's not really your soldier. He belongs to the commander. He belongs to the army. So go fuck it. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna hurt? It's not gonna fucking hurt. What happened to so and so? Blah 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 blah. Again, zero defect. They're fear from the top. Well, then if I have to do that, then I gotta fill out a pram, or I gotta fill out a fucking a serious incident report. And that's going to make me look bad. Make me fucking look bad for what? Are we not underwriting mistakes anymore? What the fuck's going on here? Several developmental courses that are considered BLC, ALC, SLC, the Sergeant's Major's Academy, say specifically that you are supposed to underwrite mistakes under mission command, right? You're supposed to do that. A mistake will happen. Obviously, if it's fucking deliberate, then obviously it's not a mistake. There's somebody's being deliberate. But if it's an honest fucking mistake, the Army's not going to fuck up. They always have a what? They have an investigation, see what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, steps were taken. And it's either jumper error, operator maintenance, or what was the other word that I said pisses me off? You need to do it 10 days prior. That's what it is.
Or you're going to eat the price of it.
Or you're going to eat the ticket. Yeah. And then out with this new promotion system. There's this new promotion system now. What are you gonna do now? Oh, now, believe it or not, the regulation always said that when someone's not recommended to the board, they're supposed to be barred. But now the Army's putting it in the regulation. For now, DA will do it for you. If you don't feel that the soldier's ready to go to the board, oh, you don't? Oh, well, fuck, then he's out. So, sergeants, you have to take a concentrated effort to ensure that you know your fucking troops. I still have my leader's book. I still have one. I got 3 of them. Team leader, platoon sergeant. I didn't have to have a fucking one for a first sergeant because I had to have a first sergeant book of first sergeanting. Because if there was a specific report or something that the S1 said that I didn't turn in for an NCOER, bullshit. Here you go. Here's a DA form 200. Well, you signed for it. There you go, son. Take that shit. Before we had a sergeant major's huddle, same fucking thing. I've seen first sergeants crushed because of that shit. Because they're afraid. Their commander didn't want it because of what the commander and because the first sergeant would say blah 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 blah, right? Talk to the sergeant major, we'd have our first sergeant's huddle, and then the next thing you know, the commander would tell the completely different story than what the first sergeant said. Because the commander was, God, man, really? You're so fucking brave to put your soldiers' lives out there on the line, but you're not brave enough to handle some fucking dude to say, sir, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. I know plenty of my soldiers right now have come back to me and said, you sound like fucking first sergeant Ice. And I'm like, I take that as a compliment.
That is a very good compliment.
No, you just don't fucking take shit. The regulation, if you are correct, you are impenetrable. They won't be able to stop you. Now, of course, you have to remain professionally in your delivery and make sure you have the proper tact. But that fucking A. And usually what you're supposed to do as a first sergeant anyways is foster relationships with your staff section. Go to the one and say, dude, what's the status of these fucking leave forms? How come this? Because like I said, it starts at the top. Hey, I turned in some fucking leave forms like at the beginning of the week. Where are they at? Why are they not processed? How come I don't see a control number? Are they going to be in the fucking staff duty? Why do we have to have the staff duty have them if you're the one that's going to fucking process them? Why did you wait till Friday to send them to the staff duty? Why can't you send them down to Monday? I ask little simple questions. Then I go down to the S2 shop. Hey, what's the status of so-and-so's clearance? Did they do a clearance? No? Well, where is the security access roster at? Do you have one? Why not? So then why are you breaking my balls and diming me out in front of the CSM and the battalion commander that this person's clearance is not good when you don't have a SCAR or nor do you have anything else to show that this individual's clearance is bad? S3. Oh, my DTS? Bro, really? I don't get how everything that is supposed to be automated has to be additionally added to with a fucking document, which is what the leave form is for. It's all digital signature. Use the CAC. You got CAC? Then you got a fucking DA 431 ready to go. Too easy. S4, Now that's where you need to fucking make sure that you're not pissing people off. Oh, man. Exactly that. Stand up for your shit. Stand up for them troops. How many times? Man, that's why it took me so long to get promoted to fucking first sergeant. Or be a first sergeant. It's because they're just like, dude, you're out of control. Not pussyfooting around, especially at that rank, okay? A first sergeant and a platoon sergeant, there used to be, oh man, there was a description back in the day when you'd study before the board, because, the freaking Soldier of the Year stuff that you do the road march, the shooting, all the crap, originated from the Sergeant Artie Murphy board and the Sergeant Morales board. And when you had to study for that shit, you had to describe what an NCO was. And so I found this little nugget of what an NCO was on the Army website that was just tucked away, that it was like a braggart. He like bragged. That's our first class. This our first class is also known as the platoon daddy. The platoon daddy is a blur, perpetual blur around the company, blah, blah, blah. I sound like Edgar from fucking Men in Black now. No, a man came in, a platoon's heart. But that it would fucking, you would instill pride. Fucking put them stripes on. If you were a sergeant, that was your badge on everything fucking where the axe meets the stone. That's where it was at. Just make sure you don't do your SSDs and your fucking and your and your cover sheet and your trips and all that. Give me a fucking break. All right, so you're the worst fucking administrator first sergeant you ever. Good. I'm supposed to be. First sergeants aren't supposed to be fucking all straight up. Because in the first sergeant world, just like drill sergeants, there's a drill sergeant, and then there's a sidewalk drill sergeant. What is a sidewalk drill sergeant? The sidewalk drill sergeant is the drill sergeant that only tends to AIT back in the day. Well, first sergeants, in the first sergeant world, we have a first sergeant, and we have a med-pros first sergeant. Well, all that first sergeant is concerned about is stats. Meanwhile, a few suicides here, a couple DUIs, and a couple of AWOLs, but hey, they got their fucking stats up. Their stats are good. Get her done. Yeah, but what about that soldier who's like, fuck, he needs some help, and he needs to go to AER. You dumbass. AER's on fucking line. Fucking crazy ass shit. Get sitting down to a unit sometimes just to fuck with people. So I love it. Who are you? Sergeant Major so-and-so sent me down. Oh, well, really. Yeah, that's my nerdy ass fucking, That fuck just pisses me off. These poor Joes are getting fucked with. I see the fucking comments and I see these desperate situations. Now, don't get me wrong. Privates will be privates. They're all going to do some private shit. Because privates, you little fuckers need to realize that, yes, you do need leadership and some supervision when you go down and buy that fucking 6-cylinder fucking Challenger at 34% APR, and we finance E1 and up, and your LES is your credit by some retired sergeant major that has some fucking car dealership that's outside the gate. Yeah, there are some life skills, because as an NCO, you have to be one. You have to teach life skills. There are some soldiers that have life skills down. Not an issue. When you become a sergeant, there are some soldiers that don't have life skills, that don't have any fucking adulting. So not only do you have to do some sergeanting, but part of your sergeanting to being fucking tactically and technically proficient to make sure that you instill it on your troops, but you also have to have fucking
parenting skills.
Yeah, parenting skills. I didn't want to say, but yeah, you pretty much got to don't fucking treat me. You're not my goddamn mom, brother or sister. No, leave me. You're like my dad. Well, I'm sorry. You need to fucking wash. Clean your ass.
Your parents didn't teach you
shit. Yeah, or some of them don't have parents, and it's not their fault.
That's sad.
Some of them have come from, and I've had some feels moments when soldiers have told me that I was the closest thing to ever being a dad to them as a leader, and like literally were to tears. And I think I had a speck of dust in my eye because my eyes were starting to water. And a soldier was like, "Can I give you a hug?" I'm like, "I need an adult," because anytime a soldier gives you a hug, male or female, you got to have a battle. And so you get told that. To me, that's more than any. I don't even know how many fucking awards I got. Because I don't care about that shit. As a sergeant, you're not supposed to care about the awards. The awards will come, trust me. You want to sit there and be a badass and say, blue cord, fucking, oh, you pogue, and blah, 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 blah. Funny that more pogues have been more combat awarded than fucking other people. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't fucking go there.
Sips tea.
Yeah, exactly. But Joes get pissed off. See? You got Joes that get pissed off. They're saying that you're getting in their fucking business. I don't need your fucking help. I'm a grown-ass man. Okay. And then the next thing they'll say, first one, how come you weren't there for me? First one don't give a fuck. First one don't give a shit. Oh, okay. Make up your fucking mind. Did you want a fucking leader? That's why you just have to take it with a grain of salt, Sarns. You have to grow thick skin. Get some callus on that shit because you'll be talked about. You're going to get talked about. You're going to get talked about by people that you thought were your fucking friends if you're doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing anyway. So fuck it. Who cares? As soon as you have stripes on your fucking, well, I was going to say collar. As soon as you have stripes on your chest, guess what? That is your badge of fucking military authority. General military authority. And if you as an NCO are tasked and you have soldiers under your charge, you best fucking believe. I have family in the Army. And if I find out you're fucking up, you will know about it. I'm not going to sit there and say, Uncle Ice is I'm going to call Uncle Ice. No, because I will definitely get the facts first before I fucking start doing shit. I don't do that shit. But you best believe if one of my family members that are soldiers shows up to his duty station and he's having problems getting fucking paid, you best fucking believe I'll get in that ass. As any NCO should be getting. You should be getting in anybody's ass when your soldier's getting fucking treated like shit. Because you know what? Treating a soldier good and taking care of soldiers is not giving them a fucking day off. It is training them, making sure that they are fucking equipped for what they're going to do in battle. And then after they've trained to standard, not to time, then guess what? Then you focus on that end. Then you make sure you ask them how it is on the home front. I was telling somebody today that the Army has taken sentiment from me. A lot of people get sentimental about a lot of shit in the Army and stuff like that. With family and all that. And I don't. I mean, it sucks. I wish the Army didn't do that. Now, is it the Army or whatever? I don't know. I just, for some reason, when I first joined the military and as I came in, I was sort of sentimental and stuff when it came to shit like family. But when the Army did, when you come in, the Army doesn't, they almost like they take something from you. And you become callous to a lot of things that you would normally, not fucking be callous to. That you should be sensitive to, I guess you'd say. That's what you need to focus on. That soldier's going to fucking go and say, oh, well, he fucking killed himself because of this. Now stop. That's not really it. You mean just telling the Joes to pick up trash is not all it takes to be a sergeant? No, but I'll tell you what, there's when you become a sergeant, and you're being told, get your fucking, get out there and get to do this. What are you going to do? You're going to have a private stand over you? You're going to have a private stand over you while you pick up the trash? What if you don't live on posts? What if you don't live in the barracks? Oh, I love getting the conversations like this. Fuck it. Exactly that, Tom. Shoot, move, communicate. Then take care of that. If you do that, and then you don't fuck with soldiers, you don't fuck with them. Obviously, if a soldier's in the barracks going nuts and going ape shit, then I'm obviously gonna fuck. And I'm not saying that I didn't do that when I was a fucking Joe. Of course I did. Drank in the barracks and all this other shit. Riled up some people and all that. But the shit was cleaned up before fucking the morning, and it wasn't fucking trashed. We didn't have fucking cell phones either to fucking, So it didn't matter. Again, if a soldier gets pissed off and gets butthurt and then decides to take the easy way out by killing themselves, then that's it. Then that's what they've done. You are not held accountable to that. However, if you attributed to his fucking suicide in any way, shape, or form to where it could have put him over the edge because of what you did as a leader, then that's it. And of course you are given some responsibility that would probably have led up to the stacking of these emotions. But as far as the actual act, you don't have anything to do with that. at all. That's another thing about sentiment that I was telling you about. I've lost a lot of friends. I mean, like, lost a lot of friends that aren't my friends anymore because I don't condone a lot of this shit. This whole, reaching out. Reach the fuck out. Reach out. Everyone says that. We preach that. Reach out. If you got a problem, just reach out. Reach out. Whatever. Yeah, reach out. Blah, 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 right? So, if you reach out and someone wants to help you and then you tell them to fuck off, guess what? Don't come crying to me, or have your friends come crying to me, or your family come crying to me that you are being belligerent about getting yourself assisted, and then you decide to end your own life. I'm pretty callous about. Everyone says I've lost friends because I said that. If you want me to fucking help you, stick your fucking head. Let's go. Come on. I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I don't understand how the human body in itself will die. Why fucking rush it? Why? I'm sure everybody has their reasons for what to happen and all that stuff. I'm not besmirching them. But I'm asking the question just like I would ask anybody else. Just like how we are being sensitive to why we ask why they do it, I want to know why you would do it. Why would you do it? You portray yourself as a strong individual. I look in your Facebook page. You got fucking beards, tats, Black Rifle coffee, and all this other crap. And you're I'm a stud. Oh, Mullen Avenue, come take them, and all this other fucking crap, right? But then all of a sudden you talk about you're at this point where you need to talk to somebody. I have had people talk to me you would never know that had issues and say, hey, appreciate it, man. I just need to vent. You good? You good? And the first thing I fucking asked, you going to hurt yourself, man? No, I'm good. Now I just needed to fucking get this off my chest and blah, 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 blah. Perfect. Cool, man. Thanks. Because, again, what I don't want to see is our great veterans and our great soldiers fall into the grievance industry of other groups to give that stigma a bad name to where no one goes out and seeks help. I want you to go get some help. I want you to fucking say, Ice, dude, I need to talk to you, man. What's up? Oh, whoa, I could talk to you with this. And they start getting into some deep shit that I'm not qualified for. Here you go, man. Here you talk to you. I got some friends. I got some buddies right here. You want to talk to me? I need somebody that could talk to you, some counseling, all that stuff. I don't want counseling. I just need to talk to you about this. Hey, do you understand what's going on? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then I come to realize it's something big, but to them it was big. Not to me. Not a big deal for me, but to them it was huge. So I'm going to fucking talk to them about it and let them fucking vent or whatever. But no one should ever be fucking blamed for what they do, what someone does to themselves because of it. Because, a lot of you guys never hear my personal or my feelings about this. Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is the opinion of the person that said it. I'm not going to sugarcoat this shit. I don't want nobody to hurt themselves, but I don't see that as, damn, dude, well, whatever. You checked out. I will respect you more that you came to me to ask for help, or you went to go talk to Battle on Distress, and then we discussed it. And then I check, say, hey, man, you doing good? Everything good, man? You good, brother? Yeah, I'm good, man. All right, cool. And that's it. That is our man oath to each other. But if you check out on me like that, then I won't respect you. You won't be respected. Everyone says, oh, don't be afraid to talk. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing that. I can tell you a story real quick. There was an incident a while back here on WTF Nation Radio where someone, we were accused of telling someone that we didn't care about, about someone taking their life. And I'm saying that, fuck off. That's not the case. We've never said that. We're always there to ensure that we push you to the resources that you need to get to, because we're not qualified, right? I'm not qualified.
I'm not.
I'm not qualified.
Certified in that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to push you in that direction. If you break my balls and call me an asshole and all this other stuff, then all of a sudden it tells me, A, you're a fucking attention seeker. B, you're being fucking selfish and keeping me up into the middle of the fucking night, all fucking night to check up on your ass. And then I see you posting other shit on fucking Facebook like nothing fucking happened. Yeah, what kind of fucking friend is that? I don't think so. I don't roll with people like that. So yes, if my opinion or my attitude towards that is rather callous, I think I'm speaking for a majority. A lot of people feel the same fucking way. I just don't mind, those who are with me, they know, or know who's my friends, guys at the station, you all know how, everybody knows how I feel about that stuff. That's why I don't like talking about it, because I end up hurting fucking feelings because you just don't really care about how that person felt. No, fuck that, dude. I'm not saying that. You fucking, dude, you're a hard charger. You survived fucking war. You went through all this shit. You survived, arduous fucking training. Whatever. It didn't matter. You fucking made it, man. And all of a sudden you're gonna let a fucking woman fucking get you pissed off or something like that? Or you're gonna let some incident at work happen? Like, yeah, really, dude? So, anyways, we're gonna take a break. I didn't mean to jump on my anger there for fucking. I got more energy. I didn't even drink coffee, and I'm amped. So we're gonna have Chris Baity from Semper Canine Assistance Dogs come on after the break. So as soon as he comes on, as soon as we play on, let's see him. A couple songs. Then that way we can get everything set up, and then we'll be rocking on. So again, we'll see you in a second. Shots.
Well, it definitely is all about the visuals, although pretty sure it's illegal.
You don't have to worry.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Will do.
I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And we're back with Christopher Baity from Semper Canine Assistance Dog. What's going on, Chris?
How you doing, sir?
Man, dude. Don't call me. Oh, did you call me sir? Oh man, I feel all old and decrepit. Man, thanks. So
Force of habit, coming from Georgia, and then the Marine Corps left me with a few bad habits.
Well, I mean, you still eating crayons? Is that what you're saying? Just fucking with you, man. Hey, so welcome to the show, man. Good having you on.
Yes, sir. I've been listening for quite some time now. I've enjoying the platform that you run here.
Oh, awesome. Hey, so tell us about yourself, man.
Excuse me. So, well, easy enough. I think you guys had contacted me about our nonprofit, Semper Canine Assistance Dogs, and just like you were talking about so vibrantly before, our job is to enhance the quality of life of service members and their families, especially if they're dealing with, the common ailments that our veterans are getting out with and transitioning out of the military, whether it's post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, even military sexual trauma. And of course, the host of other mental challenges that the normal human deals with that can sometimes be exacerbated by combat and veteran life.
So, what got you started in this? What got you started doing this? I mean, how's it set up? I know, but tell the audience, how are you set up? How does your program work?
So we get a lot of applications. Most of the veterans that we reach and we're able to assist, just happen to find us either through word of mouth. They stumbled across, a podcast or, a name or a post from Facebook, and they're applying for a service dog as part of their treatment plan. And this usually is something a doctor is, suggesting them, is given that option for. Many times they've done animal-assisted therapy or during their time in the military, or, their treatment plan getting out. If they went through Walter Reed, Bethesda, wherever their transition unit is, and maybe they worked with a dog there. Maybe their doctor suggested, hey, you could benefit from a service dog in one form or fashion. So they apply to an organization. We're in Northern Virginia, but we host veterans from all over the country. I've had veterans come from New York and some that have taken off after the military and going to Hawaii and going all over the U.S. But we bring them in. We start to work with them with whatever dogs we have in our program. And sometimes we've picked out a dog or a group of dogs that may be able to assist them with their disability. And we work with a majority of rescue. We do get donated purebred dogs, but a lot of our dogs are Labrador and German Shepherd mixes. But we have the veteran come out, and sometimes they work with a dog for, or multiple dogs for anywhere from 6 weeks up to 6 months until we find a good match for them, or they essentially earn their service dog just through their abilities.
I was about to say
and they work with that dog for the minimal required time prior to a graduation. And then we'll start working them in group classes, start teaching them, practically applying their service dog's tasks to their lifestyle, answering any questions they or their family have about utilizing the service dog, or how it's supposed to benefit the family, or how it's supposed to benefit their parent or even their child's life, and utilizing that dog to enhance their quality of life. So we work with them for 6 weeks to 6 months, with several dogs until we narrow down a good dog for them, and they work with that dog for however long they need until that dog is performing to our satisfaction as well as theirs. And then we go through a graduation, which is purely ceremonial. By that point, they've have completed all the minimum requirements with their dog, and from then their objective is to hit bricks and start to pound sand and get the job done, whether it's getting integrated back into their career or their employment lifestyle, or maybe advancing or enhancing their lifestyle within the social aspects, whether it's going out and hanging out with friends, going to the movies again, and maybe recreational and getting out there and exercising, going on hikes, going and doing these things that common veterans are doing these days, going out and climbing mountains and traveling across the country and going to catching fish and going to do all the types of things like that. But now they get to do it with confidence and independence, either with their family, but more importantly, with that durable medical equipment, that AKA a service dog that we have. They have finished the training on to enhance their quality of life.
Now, that brings up a good point, a good question too, and a point. Is there any certification? And I was doing some research on it, and someone says there isn't, but I mean, I'm not in that business, so I don't know. Is there any nationally recognized service dog certification? Is there something that, or is it within a state? How is that governed?
So generally speaking, we're talking about the Americans with Disabilities Act and how it relates to service dogs. Generally, within the ADA is Title II and Title III, essentially the codes that cover traveling with and accommodations of a service dog team. So the Department of Justice puts out the requirements, essentially the minimal requirements for a graduated service dog, or, the term certified service dog. These requirements are, not necessarily age related, but they narrow down to three main characteristics. One has to be a dog or it could be a miniature horse, but in this case, it has to be a dog. The dog has to be trained to perform tasks or work for someone with a disability, and that dog is able to perform for that individual who has a documented disability. So the individual must have a doctor's note, and then they're not required to present this. Really, they're not, they don't have to prove it. There's no necessarily a requirement, show this piece of paperwork, show this card, show this graduation certificate, whatever it is. It's all basically a word of mouth. The dog appears to be well behaved. The handler is expressing that, hey, this is my service dog. I am a disabled individual. And that is, in a nutshell, the minimal requirements for having a service dog. Unfortunately, there's a lot more involved with that to having, to getting the service dog to those standards. At a minimal, you're talking about at least on paper 120 hours of training. And this could be accomplished by the actual handler who has a disability, or an organization like myself, Semper Canine. There's not necessarily a rule that says your dog has to be certified. In fact, there's the reason I believe that ADA doesn't define, who should train your dog, and, what the tasks may be, or even what type of disabilities. It leaves it open enough to allow more people to be able to get service dogs. The challenge is most people, especially veterans, don't want to, quote unquote, take a dog away from somebody who could benefit from it more. They don't want to steal a dog away from a veteran that would benefit more. So that creates a big challenge. Our organization, we've always stuck to, as high a standards that I believe are even obtainable with training a vast majority of dogs. And in that, we were able to create standards and help co-found an association called the Association for Service Dog Providers for Military Veterans. And their website is servicedogs,4vets.org. And that organization is a coalition of nonprofits that trains service dogs to the highest possible standards, pretty much breakout standards. And these organizations are providing these service dogs specifically to veterans at no cost. So they're free dogs to eligible service members and veterans who are disabled.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, there's no real certification. It comes down to the dog being able to perform for that disabled handler.
Now that was my next question. Somebody asked in the Facebook live chat, what are your thoughts on folks who just go online and buy vests for their dogs so they can say that they're service dogs? I mean, do you think it interferes with your program? That's just a question.
It does. I generally like to say that when people go around and say, oh, they're fake service dog this, or I saw this fake service dog here, or hey, this dog, it was a small dog, so I thought it was a fake service dog, or it had the generic orange vest that you always see.
Stolen service dog valor or something like that.
Yeah, you have to throw that mentality away.
Yeah.
A fake service dog, regardless of how he appears or how the individual appears, you can't determine eligibility or whether it's a true service dog just by appearance. That individual may have trained their dog. They may prefer a small dog. They may have allergies to large dogs or to certain types of dogs. The tasks that they need that dog for may be minimal. It may not need the dog to pick up large objects or be able to jump around and do big things that larger dogs are able to accomplish. But more importantly, that individual may be restricted to, maybe they're in a a single family home, or maybe they live in an apartment, or maybe they're in an assisted care facility, and they can't have a 90-pound Labrador, in that facilities or in their living situation. So you have to throw that fake service dog mentality out the window. If you see somebody and they have a dog, the dog has a vest on, the dog appears well behaved, the individual is controlling the dog is not obtrusive to the public and, jumping all over the place and running over, licking the ground and eating food and, paying attention to everybody around them. Yes, it could be a counterfeit or a service dog, but you really don't know unless you ask the person. And that's the one thing we don't want veterans to be asked is, hey, what's your disability? We don't want people to see them, and whether it's a big dog, little dog, whatever their situation, whatever type of dog they have, we don't want people going to and questioning the legitimacy of their service dog. It completely ruins the whole point of a service dog.
No, and that's my whole thing is that there has been incidences online where you've seen women and men that have dealt with their specific issues that they've had with a service dog, only to get confronted by the general public on something that they have no idea. That's why I was asking if there's some sort of nationally, aside from the ADA, a nationally recognized certification to where almost like a concealed carry type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there is. We created standards with the organization. Or with the Association for Service Dogs Providers for Military Veterans. And the standards outline who should be getting service dogs, what the dog is trained to, at a bare minimum, what he's trained to do, how long he's been in training. Is the dog spayed or neutered? Is the dog free of any medical challenges or any health concerns that would be, could be a problem for the handler or the general public? But as well as the dog is able to perform tasks that assist with the lifestyle of that disabled handler. And that's the key part. A dog that is specially trained for a disabled individual and the challenges that are related to their disability.
Now, is the dog, is it, I mean, what is a standard training regimen? Like I said there, we don't have 6 months of airtime, but you said that the training is about 6 months. Can you go over a little bit on what the training regimen is like?
Yeah, so most organizations, including Semper Canine, we're looking for dogs that don't have any fear tendencies, don't have any aggression tendencies, but more importantly, they want a job. We're looking for, a lot of the dogs that we get are puppies. They're anywhere from 3 or 4 months old all the way up to about 6 months to a year old, and they're willing to learn. They're easily malleable. They're easily trainable. Generally, they're food driven. They're not scared of anything. They're not skittish, and they're not overly confident where they'll drag their handler down the street. But they're also very dependent on the attention they get from their handler. And we teach our veterans that the dog is trained to perform tasks and activities based off your common routine. You get up in the morning, you make your breakfast, you shit, shower, shave, you get the kids up, you get your wife up, whatever it is you're doing, and the dog goes step by step with you. They get up, you brush your teeth, the dog's sitting there next to you, and he's providing, a goal. You get done brushing your teeth, you brush the dog, you put him out, to use the restroom, you make your coffee, make his breakfast, he comes back in, and maybe you're finished making breakfast for the family. And then you go about your day, with the dog. And the dog is, we use the term durable medical equipment, because that is what a service dog is. He is a wheelchair, he's a cane, he's your medication. He's prescribed by a doctor. I joke around that I'm a pharmacist more than I am a physician. I don't really give medical advice, but I'll tell a veteran, just like a pharmacist would, take this medication with food. You need to make sure you take it during this part of the day or whatever it is. Same thing goes for a service dog. The dog needs to be going with you, needs to be part of your everyday life. And in that process, it takes a bare minimum of, I would say, 6 months to take a relatively adolescent or, a young adult dog, 6 months, a year and a half old. It takes them 6 months of consistent training day to day. They get up and they go through this, short routine that slowly becomes, an 8 to 24 hour day of them, the handler's always expecting them to walk perfectly and be available to go get your medications. Hey, if I drop my keys, or hey, I can't find my cell phone, the dog knows how to find that. Hey, when I'm getting up in bed in the morning, pulling the wheelchair over to me, or retrieving my prosthetic, bringing my cane, bringing my medical pouch, bringing a bottle of water. Things like this that, present huge challenges to that, the handicap that's created by disability.
Of course.
The dog could alleviate the challenge of, hey, I'm not going to work today because I can't find my damn keys. Instead of that veteran flipping out and being mad, destroying his house, trying to find his keys.
Yeah.
The dog can use his nose, use his training to locate the keys quicker. So that veteran does, hey, here's my keys. Okay, let's go to work. That takes a lot of training.
I bet.
These organizations online, or these, I hate to say the term, mom and pop shops that they advertise that we're going to train your dog in 16 days and that dog is going to be your service dog. Well, they're basically just going to teach that dog basic obedience. They're going to spend those 16 days in that boot camp to make sure that dog doesn't bite anybody, and he'll listen to some basic commands from the handler. But unfortunately, that does not make a dog a service dog. No matter if he doesn't bite anybody or, is listening to basic commands, he's not able to perform tasks or what we call disability mitigating tasks. He's not able to perform work to assist the day-to-day life of that veteran. If the dog doesn't do that, he's not necessarily a service dog. He's just a well-trained family pet.
Yeah, and that's what I think everyone's trying to allude to, was the fact that the mom and pops, because there's a lot with me. Maybe it's because it's the military mindset drilled into me. I got to see some papers. You know what I mean? I got to see something I got to see like a verification. I got to see that. All right, or I mean, I could prove somebody by saying, hey, look, I dropped my keys. Butch, go get the keys, and then dude, you literally have to show. And now with people, you really have to show them that your dog literally is doing something for you before they accept it. And I'm seeing, I don't want to, I could say maybe it's not a backlash, but as soon as actually I am seeing a backlash when you hear about somebody going nuts in a Chick-fil-A because of a Great Dane service dog. So that gets to my next question. Is it like, no shit? Is there such thing as a Great Dane service dog? Is there such thing as a Chihuahua service dog? Is there is there something to that effect to where you yourself as somebody who's trained in this, you could call bullshit on it by saying, come on, dude, the service Chihuahua, I mean, really, is that legit?
It could literally be any dog, depending on the state you're in, and and even the country you're in. If it's a wolf hybrid, that might be a questioner. But when it comes to different types of breed, I've seen and I've worked with everything from 6-pound Chihuahuas up to 120-pound, golden retrievers and Labradors. If it's a dog, it has the eligibility to be a service dog. If the dog appears to be well behaved, he's with a handler, he's listening to the handler, and I use the phrase, is the dog controllable and unobtrusive? Is the dog listening to the handler? He's obedient to the handler, or is the dog ignoring the public? Is he licking the floors? If the dog is controllable and unobtrusive, you have to assume that dog is a service dog, and even if he does not have a vest on. So going back to the comment about credentials, or that a card. Depending on the state you're in, or if you're flying or staying in a hotel, there are certain requirements, to having documentation. Nobody's, I joke around and say, hey, Amber at Outback, the hostess at Outback, if she asks to see your paperwork for your service dog, she's wrong. Generally speaking, outlined by Americans with Disability Act, there are only 2 questions that can be asked of a potential service dog team. And the questions are, is it a service dog? And then what type of task or what kind of work does the dog perform? There's no, hey, demonstrate. There's no providing proof. If the handler says it's a service dog, the dog appears to be well behaved and unobtrusive to the public. And, if they have paperwork, it's even better.
Of course.
We issue, all of our graduates, and most organizations will issue a graduation certificate or a public access card to designate that this dog is certified through this organization. There isn't a national recommendation or a national requirement to have paperwork outside of if you're in a if you're staying at a hotel. The Fair Housing Act and Equal Carrier Access Act both say you have to provide some kind of documentation that it's a service dog. But that's only for flying or staying in a hotel or even in maybe your apartment building or a house that you're renting. All you're doing, hey, here's my doctor's note saying that I'm eligible for a service dog, and that's all you're really required to show. When organizations like Semper Canine, we provide a public access card. It's a tool to make it a little easier to navigate public, but it's not necessarily a requirement. That if that dog is not even wearing a vest, and the dog is obedient and unobtrusive, then you can't question it. Joe Schmo on the street could, hey, is that a service dog? You can't have that service dog, going into Walmart, and he's wrong. No matter if the dog's well behaved or not. The only people that can really ask or really question the legitimacy of a service dog is either the manager or someone in authority inside a public building, and that's usually only if the dog is causing a nuisance. The dog's peed on the floor, he's barking and biting, snarling, and people are dragging the handlers all over the place. Sometimes you'll see a dog inside a grocery cart or being carried in a bag, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a service dog. But majority of service dogs get around on their own mobility. They're not having to be carried anywhere, and that is a service dog's job. If I had a wheelchair that had flat tires, well, that's a really shitty wheelchair. So that wheelchair needs to be well maintained. Same thing goes for a service dog. Long story short, if someone has a service dog and random person asks you, is it a true service dog or, what's wrong with you or anything, I generally tell them, just ignore the person. Just act like you're stupid. You don't even know what they're talking about. You're going to get a lot farther than trying to argue with them, or just like you mentioned with that Great Dane, with that veteran. And I actually know a backstory to that Great Dane. He trained that dog through an organization, and had been training several service dogs for other veterans. And that lady was screaming at him just because she's, I think, allergic to dogs. And it brings to the second point of. The only thing that can get you kicked out of a building or get you, removed from a public access situation is your dog misbehaving. If your dog pees on the floor or tries to bark at somebody or becomes a nuisance, yes, they can ask you to leave. But if your dog is well behaved, you tell them, worst case situation, call the cops. I hate to say that's what veterans do have to face, but when people are asking for documentation, it's that veteran or it's that service dog handler's job to know their own rights. They need to be going to the ADA website. They need to be visiting, they need to be talking to their doctor. They need to be talking to an individual or subject matter expert with service dogs. Visit, our website. We have a frequently asked questions page on there that outlines, hey, this is what a service dog handler has to deal with. These are the questions you are going to be asked that you legally can be asked, and from who. So it's on that handler to know their own rights, and just like our rights as American, you have to know what you're legally allowed to do. If you feel you need to have paperwork, have that on you. You're not gonna hurt yourself. You're not going to hurt anyone else by having that paperwork available. But if someone demands it, know your rights, know what you need to provide, protect the veteran behind you that may not have that paperwork. I tell all my veterans, I don't want you to be argumentative, but I don't want you to give in. Think of the veteran behind you, or the individual behind you with a service dog who's barely getting by because of their challenges. That one person that stops them and says, hey, is that a service dog? Let me see your paperwork. Because they challenged you and you said, oh, here's my paperwork, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of remain complacent and just, answer the question just to get by and not have to argue with them. They might challenge the next person behind them. The next thing that happens, that person goes home and, they don't leave the house, or they do something stupid. They, swallow a whole bottle of pills because they don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We avoid things like that by just knowing your rights.
Now, is there a distinct difference between a service dog and a support dog?
Yes. So the easy question to that is the dog. A emotional support animal is a dog that is is prescribed by a doctor to provide comfort, and the dog does not necessarily perform any task or doesn't do any work. They're essentially a lap dog. They might ride around in a purse. They don't do anything other than they're a dog. The emotional affect of petting a dog, has been proven to be able to release chemicals in the brain that, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, feel good, motivators, problem solving, and our natural reaction to challenges. Petting a dog, has been proven to be able to make that comfortable, make a situation more comfortable for that person. An emotional support dog is not a service dog because that dog is not allowed to go to majority of places. An emotional support animal can travel with you in a hotel room. An emotional support animal can fly with you on a plane. But an emotional support dog cannot go with you to Target. He can't go with your doctor's appointments. He can't go, he can't go into a government building. You can't take that dog everywhere. That dog is meant to just provide comfort for you, generally at home or in travel situations. A service dog performs tasks and does work for disability. So if that person is stuck in a wheelchair, the dog may assist with mobility, may assist picking up objects, moving objects, pushing buttons, turning on light switches, retrieving, medication, water bottles, canes, you name it, whatever we can train the dog to do. If it's a what I like to term mental health mobility dog, these are dogs that are performing a whole array of tasks for common veteran challenges. When we talk about post-traumatic stress, we talk about anxiety, the challenges with military sexual trauma. We talk about generalized anxiety. We talk about the inability to function in a normal setting. It's it's a normal thing for an individual to get up and go to work, go run errands, spend time with their family, come home. Post-traumatic stress, as I'm sure a bunch of the readers know, you hypervigilance, the inability to function in a social setting, the fear of, all the challenges are going around, worrying around what's behind you, looking for escape routes, One of the biggest problems a veteran may have is just getting through the checkout line at Walmart. The person in front of them's using change or paying with a check or drop their credit card. And next thing you know, screw this, I don't need these eggs and this milk, I'm going to leave. A service dog is meant to distract them. The moment they start to get ready to run out, they start to fidget. Maybe they're tapping their foot, maybe they're shaking, maybe their voice is stuttering. Their dog is very aware of how they act on a normal basis. And when they start to act abnormally, the dog may be trained to get their attention, may be trained to calm them down, it may be trained to, distract them, it may pop their hand, it may jump up and knock them down, it may grab their sleeve and try to pull them out of an altercation. These dogs are super confident, they're trained to perform a particular task to alleviate those challenges. They may be very obvious, they may be something you never really get to see. So when it comes to a service dog, this dog is trained to perform they use their body in some form or fashion to do something that directly alleviates a challenge with a disability or directly affects the situation that handler is in. So it really comes down to the dog can perform tasks versus he's just a well-behaved dog.
Now the dog, then, that means a support dog doesn't really come with a doctor's note then, or there's no certification for it. There's nothing. It's just
he may, but really, the dog, if he was
it's just a dog.
Not really trained or anything, then yes, he probably wouldn't be.
Yeah. Now, so then that would mean that would the support dog fall under the ADA as well, or no?
Yes. So there are provisions within Americans with Disability Act that protects emotional support animals, but it's specifically the Fair Housing Act, which is if you're renting a building or you're going to rent an apartment and they have a no dog policy, or maybe they have a dog size policy, or maybe even a breed policy.
Yeah.
Fair Housing Act keeps that dog from being removed from the handler's possession, or keeps them from having to pay an additional fee for having their dog. The dog is prescribed by a doctor to assist them, but the dog isn't trained well enough to be able to go into public, but the person can still have the dog at home to, get through day-to-day life inside their home. An emotional support animal is also protected under Air Carrier Access Act with flying in a plane. But that all is, pretty much controlled by the airlines' rules and regulations, as well as whatever TSA puts out regarding that. Service dogs, the one thing to remember for the public, as well as anybody who works for TSA, if you're the manager in a hotel, or maybe you rent out a building to individuals, a service dog, you can almost never deny them anything. If it's hey, I can't my dog weighs 80 pounds and you have a no dog policy, or you have a no dog over 50-pound policy, you can't charge them anything. If the dog destroys the carpet, yes, you can charge them to get the carpet replaced, but you can't charge them just for having a service dog. So the challenge comes to business owners, to employees, to homeowners and landowners and things like that, to know your rights and know what you're allowed to ask, know what know your rights as well. You don't want someone to push an emotional support dog into their lease when it's really, as a service dog, when it's really only an emotional support dog. And then, you're pretty much getting screwed by somebody who's taking advantage of the rules. There are tons of small cracks and ways to bend the rules, but it really comes down to know your rights, know what you're allowed to do.
Hey, your wife Amanda has thrown a comment in the Facebook live chat. Says I love my husband, but he will talk all day about this. # long-winded.
Sorry.
No, you're good. We love it. No, we love it. No, this is good because you're giving, because there's a lot of things that people don't. No, we appreciate your answers, because a lot of the questions that we get at WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments, we don't understand. Some of us don't understand the nuances of what you're telling us. So trust me, to me, it doesn't seem like you're long-winded. To me, I want to hear more. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, really? Because I didn't know that, that was a prescribed, with the service dog and support dog. So please, Amanda, leave him alone. He's doing his job. Come on, we love him.
No, she'll get on to me, because I will get off task, and I will try to fill in, years of information. Our veterans go through, and most organizations should be doing this, but our veterans go through at a bare minimum 30 hours of classroom instruction before they even really get to work with a dog that's going to be their service dog.
Yeah.
And they're learning everything about ADA, everything about public access, everything about reasonable accommodations with employers, rights and rules. There's so much to learn. I learn something every day. I get a veteran that will apply for a service dog from Wisconsin, or whatever. You pick a state, and that state is going to have codes, and they're going to have provisions. They're going to have all kinds of things that the individual living in that state needs to know what they're allowed to do, what they're not. And it could be just something as simple as, hey, let my county know that I have a service dog and I have access to this. And they will provide, some states provide public access cards for their service dogs.
Your team now is busting your balls on this now.
I'm sure they are. You should have been in our last graduation. I keep hearing about it, because I took an hour graduation and stretched it into, I think, about an hour and 45 minutes, because I kept wanting to talk more about the successes of each veteran. I think that's probably what my team wants me to do. Is
that's
talk about the
about.
success
Exactly.
of Semper Canine and what service dogs are doing for veterans around the world.
No, you're right. Exactly. Now, is there a dog that you just don't? Like you just said, you deal with Labradors and German Shepherds primarily. Is there just any other animals you won't deal with, or why did you just go with the German Shepherds and the Labs?
It really comes to ease. My military career, we worked with I had Belgian Malinois almost my entire military career, and they're really good dogs, but for the most part, they're terrible service dogs. And anybody out there who's listening who has a Malinois service dog, trust me, I feel you. There are some great Malinois out there. I treat every dog the same. To me, just like, joining the Marine Corps, joining any branch of the military, you're supposed to better the organization you're a part of. So if that dog could bring something to all service dogs, then I'm all for it. Whether it's a 6-pound Chihuahua or, 120-pound Great Dane, we've got dogs that are, 58 and 59 pounds up to 120 something pounds. And to me, a dog is a dog. I use the term, a service dog is a service dog, period. It doesn't matter if he's a mobility dog, a psychiatric alert dog, doesn't matter if he's a German Shepherd, a Lab, a Poodle. It really doesn't matter. Their job is to enhance the quality of life, make their veterans' life more comfortable, make it easier. And no matter what type of dog it is, I'm down for it.
You said poodles. Now, we're talking the larger ones, right? We're not talking about the little yappy ones, right? Are those?
No, I mean they're when I talk about dogs, just like with people, we're all different. We all have our good traits, we all have our bad traits. Generally speaking, anybody out there who's looking for a service dog, labs are about as good as you can get.
Yeah.
Not saying that every lab you run into, and if a breeder is telling you this dog or this breed of dog was bred to be service dogs, they're telling you a little bit of a tale. They're being a recruiter for you. I love the fact that there are a lot of breeders out there that are, they're looking for veterans to be able to give dogs to. I try to say, adopt, don't shop. But there are some great purebred dogs out there. But to be honest, there are tons and tons of dogs in shelters that want a job, that need a home.
Yeah,
We love to
course.
take rescue dogs in because when I first started this, I was seeing lots of great dogs in shelters. I was able to compare other organizations that were, using all kinds of different dogs, and there was nothing that would, could say, hey, this breed is perfect, you want to stick with this breed. There's nothing that says, this type of dog is an all-around perfect service dog, no matter what dog you have. So, we give our veterans, we give them the option to, hey, tell me if you like short-haired dogs, tell me if you like male dogs, female dogs, but that's what you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about the breed. You could spend hours on Facebook, on internet trying to pick apart different types of breeds, and I promise you, from 17 years of working with dogs and training dogs for different types of things, try to look for what you want in the end, not what you have right now. Don't look for, hey, I want this type of dog, I want a black dog, or I want a golden retriever, or whatever it is. When you apply to an organization for a service dog, trust their judgment, trust that they're going to give you a dog based off what that dog is able to do for you, not what you can get from the dog.
Yeah. Now you just said that they have to be they're married. You said the handler or the person who's going to be getting a dog. Now there's a meet and greet. Do you have a I need a dog, and I come to you and I say, Chris, I need a dog, and you just said male, female, yeah, that's all, whatever, and then that's it, and then you find the dog for me. Do you match me up? Is it like?
It all depends. Currently, we have 9 service dogs in our program. We try to bring in between 10 and 20 a year. Hopefully next year, when our facilities be completed, we'll be able to do 24 to 48 dogs a year. But so when we bring a veteran in, if I've approved them, if they've been approved and they're eligible for our programs, we start working with them. I'll work with them whatever dogs we have. Generally speaking, I know what type of dog or several types of dog that may be a good match for that veteran or that individual. But if I don't have a dog, that's a pretty good match, then I'll start looking for something particular. But for the most part, I'm scouring every shelter. The rescue partner we have, they're bringing in 20 to 40 dogs every 2 weeks. And I'm getting first looks at all these dogs, and I will grab, the moment I find a good dog, I'm gonna snatch that dog up. I'm gonna adopt that dog, and I'm gonna start him in training, and in hopes that, hey, I'm gonna build a training for something. Some of our veterans are low functioning, some of them are high functioning, some have jobs, some of them are unemployable. I may think this dog is perfect for you on paper, but it really comes to practical application. That dog has to be able to perform for that veteran. That veteran has to be able to get that dog to function how they need them to. So I'm just trying to grab as many good dogs as I can. And your objective in the program working with a service dog is to find that dog that works for you and you want that dog to work for you. You don't want that dog just to be your dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need there definitely is a bonus to having an organization do the legwork for you. Whether they have a program in place or whether they have an SOP about how that dog is trained or how they're going to train you. Go into it with an open mind and know that they are the experts for a reason. They're doing this because they love doing it. They doing it hopefully because they've been successful at it. We've graduated 27 dogs to date in just under 3 years, and that's, in my opinion, that's probably pretty extraordinary for the amount of things that we do. But we get 100 and probably close to 150 applications each year for one of our service dogs. And without the veterans, being able to sacrifice their time and to be able to come to training and be able to learn the different dogs, we wouldn't be able to marry them up like you were saying. So don't worry about trying to steal you're not going to steal a dog from another veteran. Applying it goes a long way. If at a bare minimum, we tell our veterans, you might not, want a service dog, or you might not think you need a service dog, but come here and help me train some dogs. Maybe you'll benefit from it for the animal assisted therapy side, or maybe you can leave with that smile on your face that you help train a dog for another veteran. So getting involved with your veteran community is huge. It shows that it shows that we're still buddies. There's that camaraderie for the military is still there. You want to learn as much as you can about how service dogs help others. So do your research. Find that organization that matches what you're doing and what you need, and trust that they're gonna give you the dog that's best for you.
Now when you have like, again, now here's a scenario, and this is only a scenario. I'm not by all means what you're doing right now is awesome. So it's just out of a curiosity type of scenario. So you were saying there's like an individual that, like, I don't like. I'm the same way. Crowds piss me off. And if I see the line at Walmart, hell, if I see the line at Wendy's in the drive-thru long, I get pissed off, and I'll do a J-turn and a tactical move out to go to Sonic to get something to eat. You know what I mean? Now, in the same scenario, if the person is being confronted, is there some sort of basic defense for the dog to either move you out of the location, or Butch decides to attack, or is there some sort of, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's an attack dog, but it's not it's a working dog. But is there something to protect the veteran as well in a scenario like that, to where he feels threatened, the dog's going to move him out, but if someone's approaching him, the dog kind of warns that individual to back off? You know what I mean? Is there a defense mechanism for that?
No. So for the most part, every single service dog should be non-aggressive. They should be passive to, stimulus. They shouldn't be, seeking out attention from strangers. They shouldn't be, they shouldn't necessarily be protecting you. Either it's barking at people. You'll hear, and for my readers out here, there are, for the listeners out there, a lot of the times a veteran will want that, that dog that will protect and will keep people away. And when you got a service dog, or when you were seeking a service dog, it usually came from a doctor's recommendation. And the doctor was recommending it based off a treatment plan.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there are very few treatment plans, at least none that I'm aware of, that include keeping people at a distance. Rarely does that doctor not want you to be socially interactive. Does he not want you to accomplish goals every day, whether it's making all your doctor's appointment, or it's not screaming at that lady in line because she asked the same question twice. So we don't want a service dog, and no veteran should be wanting a service dog that's going to protect them from anything.
Correct.
That doesn't mean the dog won't protect them in a certain situation if they got tacked.
Yeah,
it's still a dog.
that was going to be my next question.
A trainer can do
exactly
to ensure that a dog's not going to bite somebody who's trying to physically harm them. But we want a veteran. We want that individual to, they're going to every situation with confidence and independence, and they're doing it with their battle buddy. They're doing it together. There are tools that a veteran can, or that a handler can use with a service dog, and that may be what you commonly will call a block or a cover command, and that provides a bubble. It provides a little bit of tactical space. If you will, but it's not meant to protect the handler. It literally is to provide confidence. So me putting my dog in front of me to provide, that space between whoever's in front of me, or maybe somebody's behind me, it's meant to provide, the comfort for me, knowing that that person is not going to jump on me without, at least encountering my dog first. The dog isn't meant to it shouldn't be trained to bite the person if they come too close, because that defeats the whole treatment plan of a service dog.
Yeah, I was just curiosity, man. Just curiosity. So maybe I'll have a service dog on one side and a Rhodesian Ridgeback and a Alligator next to me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that says that an individual can't have two service dogs. If someone had seizures and was in a wheelchair, it's not an uncommon to see, someone like that who may have two service dogs. One dog may be, assisting with the ambulation with the wheelchair, and the other dog might be responding to seizures.
Yeah.
And one of the dogs may be a big dog, one may be a small dog. I have heard the term, I had heard that organization that try to push that in, the passive looking or the accepting looking dog. Usually we're talking about floppy-eared dogs, Labradors. They're not intimidating at all. But some people, I placed a German Shepherd, a Czechoslovakian Shepherd with a veteran, and he liked that type of dog just because it empowered him. That he had this dog that was alert looking. It wasn't meant to protect him from anyone. It literally meant to make him look squared away, and that's how he phrased it. That the pointy ear, the German Shepherd look makes him look squared away, versus a droopy eye, droopy eared, lab that, people like, your dog looks bored, your dog looks depressed. So those type of things come into play. But really it just comes down to, that human animal bond that you get from a dog. That's what you want. The dog, whether he's sitting in your left side, and half asleep, while you're having a conversation, or he's alert and sitting in front of you and creating space while you're talking to, the security guy, because he's questioning whether you can bring a dog, you can bring your family pet in here. And of course you have to tell him, no, this is my service dog. He's performed a train task related to my disability, whether it's post-traumatic stress or whatever, the individual has. But it provides that confidence for them, because they've been schooled. They know, they've worked with their dogs for 6 months now, and they've been everywhere under the sun. They take their dog to work and to the mall and to the gym with them. They do all these things with the dog, and they know, hey, this is like my sidecar. This is my battle buddy. It may even be to them, hey, this is my sidearm. This is my weapon that protects me, just because we're together. Just like I did 2 deployments with the attached to the Army, and they always, you guys always push that, 2 is one and 1 is none. Same thing goes with that battle buddy mentality with a service dog. They don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you, there's a question in the Facebook live chat. Can 2 people in a household benefit from a service dog? Or, one service dog for 2 people, or...
Yeah, so we, obviously we have our service dog program. We have veterans that are applying for a service dog, and, the dogs that we have, that we were adopted, we've trained up for them. But we use all of our dogs get cross-trained in some place or some time during their training, and they do emotional support training. They may do what we call family support dog work. They may be doing therapy work or facilities work. But when a veteran starts working with a dog, and we get towards the placement training, where they're working with their dog for their certification hours and all that stuff, we get into what we call the family integration time. And that's where we're training the veteran to be able to use his dog with his family members. We want we don't want the spouse to feel like the dog is going to replace her. We don't want the family to think, we don't want the children to think, hey, this dog is meant to keep dad from screaming at us or yelling at us, or, is keep dad distracted so he's not, acting the way he used to act. We use these service dogs to be able to integrate the veteran or integrate the disabled individual back into the family, as well as back into their community. So we train that dog to be able to assist all the family members, whether it's the children and a spouse, but as well as to assist their integration back into the community. We break training down, or we break those training requirements down into their social lifestyle, their recreational lifestyle, and then their occupational lifestyle. So the dog may, at home, he's, he's with the kid and the father, and the father and the children, and maybe they're playing games together, maybe they're out at the mall together. One of our veterans the other day, the wife had reported back to me that he hasn't taken his son out to the park in months. The day he got his service dog, he had his son out in the park for 4 hours. She had to call him and tell him, hey, bring guys, come home, dinner's ready, because they were out there playing, and he was working with the dog and practicing and training the dog while he was out there playing with his son. Sometimes, that disabled individual has to go to work or has to go out of town, and he's not able to take the dog with him, or whatever the situation may be. He can leave the dog at home potentially, as a safety net for his family, where he's not worried about, hey, I'm on this business trip and I know my wife's at home with the kids and she's all alone, and it's we live in a bad part of town, or we've had neighborhoods, neighbors that have been broken into, and he's worried about that. So, having that dog at home can provide some kind of assistance with them. But we cross-train our dogs in order to be able to perform for the entire family, not just the veteran, although that is the dog's primary job, is to assist with their disability.
Now, do you have something for the family? No, because it goes right into the next question. So do you have the family involved as well as part of the training? Like, do you bring the family in during the training to watch the veteran work with the dog, or do you come to the house? I mean, what do you do to assist? In other words, I guess you would say more like an indoctrination to the family of what to expect. Do you give them that type of one-on-one as well?
Yeah, so we try to teach the wife and the children as much as they're willing to learn. We do leave classes are open, whether it's our veteran classes or our canine coach classes. We leave those open to the veterans to attend, with or without their spouses, without their children. We also we give the spouse and the children opportunities to work with the other canine coaches. So I could be working with the husband and the dog, while either my children or one of our canine coaches is working with their dog and showing small stuff, or showing the family how to do things. But more importantly, I try to use, or I try to teach the spouse that, they're a caregiver. Whether it's the husband or wife taking care of, a husband or wife, or whatever the situation is, if they have a disability, they have to be a caregiver for their family member. So a service dog, their job is to perform tasks. Their dog is to do things for them, but more importantly, a service dog will assist with the caregiver, either facilitating activities that they have difficulty with, or they are able to accomplish things that the caregiver doesn't have to do anymore. So they don't have to remind their husband or the wife about their medication, every 4 hours. The dog would do that. But a wife can't always yell at her husband down in the basement, hey, get out of there, stop drinking so much damn beer, get out here, play with your kids, go mow the lawn, stuff like that. She could scream and yell at him. He might do it. It might be begrudgingly. He might be willing to do it. But you put a service dog in that situation, and the dog, he builds routine. He creates exercise and recreation. He creates an opportunity that the veteran has to take him out for a walk. He has to feed the dog. He has to stay on this schedule. He has to, get here and play with him. He has to keep training him. He has to do things that are either outside of his comfort zone, or they increase, either enhancing their lifestyle versus enabling things like alcohol do, like, that opioid addictions,
exactly.
reliance to certain medications, certain lifestyles. Not that I'm knocking some of those things, but sometimes, they create enabled behavior. Every time I'm having a bad day, if I take this pill, I can chill out and I'll forget about my problems, and I go become numb to it. While a service dog is going to bug the shit out of them. Hey, get up. I need to go for a walk. Hey, let's play the ball. Hey, you're acting funny. Hey, you need to give me some attention. Hey, I see you digging in your keys or fidgeting or doing whatever it is. I need some attention. So the dog is creating is facilitating those activities and those behaviors that promote that healing, that are part of the treatment plan that the doctor and the family has come to accept as a part of getting out of the funk, if you will.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, damn, Chris, I appreciate you coming on, man. This has been an informative second hour. We totally appreciate you coming on.
I can't ask any more, for everything you guys do. I appreciate I'm definitely gonna have to start listening to you guys more often. I'm appreciative for being on, and I hope I can answer anybody's questions down the road, or, I'd love to be on again, maybe down the road.
Definitely.
If you will.
Oh, no, definitely, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on. like I said, at any time that you want to, like I said, hit the front desk, and then we'll be more than happy to bring you back, so that way you can give us some updates on what's been. You said you're gonna get more dogs, so you need to come back and tell us about the more dogs, and then.
Yeah, for sure. We're building our facility, and I'll give one last plug here, and I know my followers are probably like, wrap it up, Chris. We are pushing our facility where we'd be able to, we can house veterans from out of state. We can continually have graduating classes every quarter versus, sparingly as we get dogs in. A fully functioning facility that we're aiming for gives the opportunity to work with more and more veterans on a regular basis, getting more veterans in, getting more dogs to train, and having that atmosphere where I know veterans can come here. They do it in a controlled setting. We can streamline all their training, do it in the cheapest possible fashion, or at least the financially feasible fashion. But we can be more successful working with more dogs and getting those dogs into the hands of the veterans that need them.
All right, man. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. And then, like I said, we'll definitely get you on. So we're talking to Chris Baity from Semper Canine Assistance Dogs. Jump on his website at sempercanine.org. That way you'll be able to throw some donations in there, and you'll be able to get some information on all that. Also, check him out on Facebook at Semper Canine Assistance Dogs. So with that, we're going to take a quick break and shots.
Well, it definitely is all about the visuals, although pretty sure it's illegal.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Hungry for another taste. You stumble around the time you waste, and your table's overturned. Sooner or later you crash, then you burn. I think I wanna die tomorrow. And are you gonna be with me? I think I wanna die tomorrow, 'cause I'm out of time and I'm out of my mind. The simple ways come and go. Still I love the way you turn me on. But I just can't find the words, 'cause everything I say sounds so absurd.
Is that actually a picture of the Antichrist crying? I like it. It's tasty.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, we're back for the third segment of Sergeant's Time on this 21 December 2017. Almost Christmas time. Broadcasting live from the Fox of Internet Exits. Oh my God, too much coffee.
I can tell.
Oh, man. I could hear, I could see sound. That's how much coffee I had. I can just tell. I mean, just, that's got that, I'm my sensory overload. Somebody sent me some videos and some stuff. Somebody sent me some crap. And then somebody shared some stuff to me. I was just kind of laughing at it. And then I'm just like, wow. On the Facebooks. Yeah, on the Facebooks. And I was like, wow, really? Oh, okay. Wow, it was an awesome guess. There was no way that kid, Chris Baity, I'm telling you what, was the plethora and the cornucopia and the ever so lasting portal of information when it came to dog handling. Because, that whole thing that everyone's talking about before was those people that get, I mean, I know he didn't want to answer the questions. I mean, there was one question that I was trying to get to, like, can you chain these dogs to kick some ass? I didn't want to be like that, but.
Like the one thing I tell you a lot.
Oh my God! See, here's my thing: is that, and he's right. It defeats the purpose of a service dog to calm your ass down, not to incite shit. That's what the other dogs are for. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just thinking, damn. I mean, there's got to be a happy medium. When I was a kid, I had a Rhodesian Ridgeback. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. But it was mixed with a pit bull.
Never heard of it.
It was mixed with a pit bull. If you don't know what a Rhodesian Ridgeback, it is a species of Canis familiaris that is indigenous to the lands of Africa and used in hunting parties. Is used to hunt lions down, and had a reverse. The way the dog was, its genetics. There was a ridge that grew along its back because its hair would grow in the opposite direction. And
interesting.
Yeah, so it is one of those things that, anyways, but it was mixed with a pit bull, which a Rhodesian Ridgeback and a pit bull is like mixing Doc Madness and Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty in one body. You know what I mean?
Oh wait, I thought Rick was Doc and Doc was Rick.
No. There's none of that. It's just that they both like each other. But Morty, who the hell is this Doc Madness? But the thing is that dog was so protective. It would be quiet one moment, and it literally would eat, like it ate wood. It didn't have a chew toy. It had a chew stump. It didn't mess with anybody else, but as soon as something happened, it would bolt it into action. It was a badass dog. So I was just wondering. I mean, of course he can't come off and say, yeah, we train dogs to kill too, but because obviously his dogs are not that way. But if I could only get, maybe I could get, like I said, that's why I said have a alligator next to me, and a German Shepherd service dog, and then just be good. That's a good boy. And then somebody's like, that dog does not need to be in Walmart. And then I look at that dog and I go, attack, Hans, attack. Say something in German, and it goes off. Well, that was a great guess, man. Chris Baity from Semper Canine Assistance Dog is awesome. Good information. I was crossing out all the questions as he was speaking, because he was answering all the questions. The ones that I asked were the ones that he didn't answer because he was. Like I said, most people don't understand the Americans with Disability Act enough to know what their rights are to have a service dog. That's why I was asking about emotional support dogs and all that, because we have some, I've never dealt with anybody but I've always seen the videos online, and you guys know what I'm talking about, that Great Dane and that Chick-fil-A or something like that. That lady was going nuts, and everyone was talking about, maybe she had a bad day, man, shut up. Leave the poor guy alone. The guy has a dog. He's sitting there getting some chicken, and you're gonna go off on somebody's dog because you're allergic to dogs or whatever.
The dog was more well behaved than that chick.
The dog, the dog was just sitting there looking at this.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was just sitting there looking at her and the dog's tail was wagging like, oh, that's so cute. Look at the human barking at me. Oh, they must be.
I was about the same. She's barking too.
She's barking too. She sounds. Yeah, exactly. And she's pointing at her. Look at, she's even showing her teeth. Wow, humans can act like dogs. Wow. Look at her eyes. I've never seen the whites of their eyes like that before. Humans are so cool. Oh,
is she related to the Chihuahua?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly. Oh my God, I know exactly. Look at my neighbor dog Pepe down the street. His eyes are the same size. Look at that. You know what I mean? What would you do? That's what I'm saying. That's why it's kind of it's. I mean, Chris is right. You have to have that balance of the dog is there to calm you down and not to. Your dog is not supposed to be a hype man. You know what I mean? Your dog's not supposed to stand up on his back legs going, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. Come on, Ice, pull that get out, Ice. Come on, show him you the man. You know. Now, if your German Shepherd did that, then obviously did not go through proper service dog training. Your dog's not supposed to be your hype man. So I was just curious. That's just one of the questions, because there's, like I said, for a scenario like that, when somebody goes holy apeshit on you for having a dog in fucking Chick-fil-A, and the dog, the Great Dane, it was awesome how it just kept its composure and just wagging its tail. I'm like, oh my God, that dog is so. I wanted to pet. Oh, that was one thing I forgot to ask. And is it wise to pet a service dog? Oh, well, what to bring him back when he comes back? Was one of the questions.
Oh, he'll definitely be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. So guys, remember that. Can you pet a service dog? Because I know there's a lot of people that don't care, but some of them do. You know what I mean? I was just wondering if that's.
Well, I mean, whether it's a service dog or not, I've always, I've brought my children up. Before you just walk up to a dog and pet it, you ask the owner, just for the fact that you don't know if it's already an aggressive dog or not, and it's manners, And most service dogs will say on their vest to be petted, don't pet me, I'm working. Or some of them, they'll even say, hey, pet me. I love being petted, so.
Yeah, I mean, again, the owl even said, nope, not, damn, well, there you go, owl. Owl's fucking party pooping in with his sergeanting in the chat, Facebook live chat.
Oh.
Yeah, he just said you're not supposed to touch a dog. You're not supposed to. Oh, Amanda still. Oh, Amanda from the top rope. Whoosh. Always asked to pet any dog, but some service dogs can be petted. It may be a task that helps the handler. Damn, knowledge bomb. Damn, Amanda Baity just came in from the top rope. Came in like Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, always asked to pet a dog. Thank you, Amanda.
See? I always thought it was common sense to always ask to pet someone.
Correct.
Like any dog.
It is. No, it's just like if you want to, hey, it's like when you see somebody, hey, oh, that's a nice ride. I mean, that's a nice bike. Can I look at it? You know what I mean? Or something like that. You're right. It's a respect thing. But yeah, I was just wondering. Because I have some people that say the same thing. I don't, my dogs, the dogs that I have owned, and you've seen my monsters, they normally don't ask to pet the dogs. Because I have King Shepherds that will rip arms off and, they don't, they just look at you. They just don't even, they're the type of dog that will let you pet it, but will just sit there and look at you as you're petting it to go, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's like Cletus. You know how Cletus, you can totally tell Cletus will give you that look of, is he gonna bite me, or is he about ready to lick me? And then the one off chance moment that Cletus makes a funny dog face, then you know he's really happy or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah. It
always
is.
Ask to pet a baby too. Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah. Always. If you're no. Yeah, exactly. To pet a baby. Can I? Actually, when you think about it too, that's the equivalent, right, Amanda? It's the equivalent of, hey, can you hold my baby? No. Hold my baby.
Like, I don't know where your funk has been.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I have my baby. When Baby Ice was younger, he was attached. I had a tactical rig, and so that way he was tactical. So he would hang off of me, so that way I could do tactical stuff. I could do tactical dad stuff, and I could, do all that stuff. So he'd be hanging off of me, in a Baby Bjorn. So, yeah, Amanda's like on it. Bam. Always has to pet the baby too. That's right. We have a new chat marshal in here. Welcome, Amanda Baity, to WTFNationRadio.com. You have a chat marshal Cos and chat marshal Amanda now. That's awesome. That's good.
You know what irritates me with like my kids is when people like would kiss them on top of the head, and I'm just like, don't put your mouth on my kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, exactly. No. There's a. I almost think that a kid is a little bit more personal space, and it's probably the same thing with a dog. When you kind of think about it, then yeah, you're right. It would be a bad idea to pet a service dog or any dog. Just to have to ask. But then again, you always have that person, and I'm pretty sure Chris and Amanda have seen this. You always have that one person that thinks because they hoard dogs, they know all about them. We had this discussion before. I like dogs,
of course,
and they like me. And then the next thing you know, the dog's going off on them because they've been sheltered incorrectly, as in like putting them in bins outside and chained to trees and shit. And they think their dog.
They got the tongue hanging out.
Yeah. They think they're freaking. Yeah, they think they're freaking. They think they're dog whisperers and shit just because they hoard a bunch of dogs. And then when you have your little dog that walks in front of the yard, your dog shit in my yard. And I'm thinking, your whole house smells like dog shit. Just your whole. I see the tree in the backyard. Just everything, flora and fauna are like dead back there because you have so many animals back there. Yeah, that drives me off the wall big time. That they think that they're the big knowledge bombs on that. That's pretty cool, man. Look at that, straight up. Amanda's just dropping knowledge. We appreciate that, man. So see, don't pet a service dog. Some of you can. So we got that clarified. Oh man. I'm afraid to ask another question about it because next thing you know, I might have Chris call back. Chris is going to call back and Amanda's going to attack everybody in the chat. Good cause, though. Again, look them up. Check them out on their webpage, and then check them out on their Facebook page. You will definitely. I was looking through it during the break too, and wow, it's just amazing. It's some of the events that they've had. I didn't know they had events going on. You guys need to let us know when you have events.
Oh, I've already, told them to let me know, and I will get them on.
No, well, there you go.
I'm on it.
You're on it, God, doggone it. You're on it like a chat marshal.
Oh, Miss Pat is joining us.
Oh, what's going on, Pat? Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, so the jokes that we're talking about was we were talking about that one story that we had on the Monday edition about that lady who said that it was a service dog and bit a real service dog in the nose, and then that service dog defended itself and killed the little dog. Remember that one case in the elevator?
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I was like, is it? I mean, because when you think about it too, is a Chihuahua going to be able to find your keys and then lift? I have a pretty heavy key ring, so and I know Chihuahuas aren't that heavy, aren't that muscular. so and growing up because of a little of my ethnicity is showing, we've had Chihuahuas as well, and they get little fat little Chihuahuas that they can't pick up my keys. And they might be able to find my keys and make a lot of noise to say that they found it, but I don't know if they. I would love to see a service dog Chihuahua. So
you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to. I am not belittling the use of a Chihuahua service dog, or a Yorkie, or a Morkie, or a Maltese service dog. I would like to see those type of I mean, I would like to see the breakthrough. I want to see, what Chris should do that. Like, if there is a tough dog, is there a dog that he just can't train? Is there any dog that he just cannot train? We present Chris Baity a Morkie, and then see what he does with that.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to. I am not belittling the use of a Chihuahua service dog or a Yorkie, or a Morkie, or a Maltese service dog. I would like to see those type of I bet you they'd love it. Morkies are awesome. So, but anyways. News is going on fire. What's going on in the news? What's going on with the news chat? Somebody's put me some stuff here. I guess there was another North Korean escaping through the border. Yeah, I guess did he make it?
Oh.
Did he live? Did he survive? Did he I'm just kind of curious. Because is it starting to become a trend?
You know what? Maybe they're slowly realizing that North Korea just sucks. And they need to escape.
Well, duh. Everybody knows it sucks. But my point being is that when you think about it, I think word is getting back to North Korea because you know how everyone says that in North Korea it's really hard to get information into from the South, right? And they're limited on their interwebs and all that. I think what happened is that word got out that the defector known as Worm Man made it through, and then the word got to certain other people, and now other people are fucking trying. It would almost to me like be how the rumor of the Berlin Wall falling and the Iron Curtain falling spread when it didn't really happen. It was just a rumor. That's how the Berlin Wall fell. That were decided not to do it. So everyone started freaking defecting or jumping over the freaking borders and stuff, like crashing through. And the governments were like, the soldiers were kind of like, I guess we're going to shoot these guys. No, dude. Did you hear? Because it even got to them. The rumor got to them that the Berlin Wall had fallen. And they were like, oh, okay, well, I don't care. And then what do we do now? And then it just happened. And we just started fucking crossing the borders. And then nobody really didn't do shit. Nobody was kind of like, it was just kind of like, meh. It was just cascaded. So I wonder if it's the same type of a domino effect that's going to happen with the North Koreans. That one guy made it through, and there is, because the internet is so plentiful and so awesome, even without net neutrality, that the Koreans, because right now, thank you, I'm still waiting for a drop. I purposely today activated a bunch of systems to see if my cable my interwebs was being affected, and I activated some streaming going on in one device, and I have streaming going on another device, and then I have my standard workstations here for radio streaming and stuff like that, and I included some more streaming. And so far, nobody's been throttled back. I have not been throttled. I am good on my webs. So have you been noticing any change with your webs? You can say it. Go ahead.
No, right now it's not working because Time Warner sucks.
Do tell. What did Time? Can we make fun of other corporations when they're talking about their failures in corporationing? So Time Warner, dropped the ball on the net?
Okay.
What happened?
Last week, this is Mom's internet issues. We had to have the modem or router. I don't know. I don't fucking know. One of those things replaced. So they came out and replaced it. Well, the other day it took a shit. So I called them back, or my husband did, because it's in his name. And we scheduled it for this morning. I want to say we had it down for like between 10 and 11. And I've been busy all day trying to do holiday stuff. And I just realized like 2 o'clock-ish early this afternoon that they didn't come. And so I, told my husband, call them back. And they're like, they just play dumb. And they're like, oh, we can get you, schedule it again. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I don't want you to fucking schedule it again. I want my internet to work. And they're like, well, the next time we have is like Tuesday or some shit because of the holiday weekend. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So guess what we're doing this weekend? We're looking for a new router, modem, or whatever you want to call it.
So wait, it was a damn it was a freaking technical issue?
Yeah.
All right, Pat. Have a good one. See you. Are you leaving? No, wait. We love you too, Pat. Are you leaving? Everyone's saying take care like you're going somewhere. You taking off? Where are you going? You just come back from vacation. Hang out. Oh, so we have raised money to build a covered facility. That's what I'm talking about. 365. That's what I'm talking about. Stay tuned for Warhorse Veterans. We have an article on Fox News Online. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
That is what I'm talking about. Well, congrats to Warhorse. God, man. Congrats. This
So
is awesome.
many good things with them.
A lot of things are happening that's gooder. Oh, shit. Are we getting Stank? Hey, what's up, Stankus?
What is going on, y'all?
Hey, hon.
How you been, man?
Hey, Mom. What's up, Ice, my man?
You know the deal, brother. Just getting the knowledge, and then just going over this stuff about the interwebs. I was just telling Mom that apparently since net neutrality has been canceled and tax reform's happening, and all these corporations are providing bonuses and raising wages due to the release of some sort of tax reform, and then the internet is supposed to be going crazy. I
thought the world was going to end.
I was kind of waiting for some zombies to show up, but it didn't happen. And so I was just thinking, well, what's going on?
No, no, it's actually going to be one of those dinosaur killer meteors. So you guys are you need to look up. Hello. That or that little planet that's going to intersect the plane of the ecliptic. But anyway, I digress. Yes, I actually was listening to that. I'm still not quite sure. There's so much confusion and whatnot regarding the whole net neutrality thing. Yeah, I've been following it for like 3 or 4 years, and it was evil, 3 years ago, and now the repeal of it's evil today. So whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what's I don't know what I mean. I'm not bashing a religion, but I don't know what church to believe in this factor, because I didn't notice anything was going on back then. I didn't know anything is going on now, so I was just kind of thinking, oh, okay, well, let me turn on all the devices that I have and see what we have. And guess what? There was nothing. We're good. There's no.
Well, it's interesting. It's kind of cyclical in a way, if you think about it. I mean. And it's actually kind of a little bit of a sad commentary. We've become so polarized as a nation. I mean, everything is a political hot topic on one end of the spectrum or the other. If you recall 3 years ago when the FCC, it was, seated by Obama appointments, if you will, everybody was just completely up in arms and just absolutely polarized on net neutrality. And I think there was a lot of misinformation then as well. And now the repeal of it, now you got the other side that's all up in arms. And so it's this constant give and take, this literal game of dozens. And, that's how these politics are going to go now, I think, from time immemorial until everybody fucking gets their head out of the gas. And I don't know, man. But also on another note, too, I was listening to Mom, and Mom, I'm shocked. Were you just not really keen on just hanging out at the house and sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting for the cable guy to show up, or what?
Well, no, I mean, I do have a job to do.
I know, right? Isn't that great? I mean, that's, may I ask, was that which monopoly was it, of the terrestrial land-based phone company or the cable company?
Cable, Time Warner.
Oh, yeah, good old cable. All right, well, I think I've mentioned this on the show before one time, but so, we had the terrestrial, telephony-based DSL service here. I won't name that name, but they're pretty big and pretty much kind of the only show in town, and they fucking suck. And I ended up going with the cable offering in the area, which is Time Warner's kind of competition, being Comcast and all. And it was pretty rock solid. Now, I don't watch their cable TV, even though I pay enough for the subscription to get it. I kind of take my television over the satellite, but I was like, it's so worth it. I'll pay the fucking money as opposed to suffer the indignity of being treated like a piece of shit serf by AT&T. Oh, I said them. Anyway, so I got that off my chest. I feel a ton better. In other news in Stanky's world, I did graduate. I finally nailed that degree, so I'm done with that. I'll be moving into my master's program, in case you guys are curious.
Wow, what is it? Basket weaving? WTF Nation Radio Knowledge?
No, it's a
faculty. You're trying to get your.
Well, the master's that I'll be pursuing is Invaders, and it's a pretty new degree program right here. But no, I'm just joking. It's a Bachelor's of Science in Leadership and Management, and this one will actually be a Master's of Science and Leadership. So it was pretty cool. Just put some, managerial shit behind my technical prowess, and, The one thing I'll say about the VA, we harp on the VA about how much improvement they certainly need to engage in regarding the medical side of the house. I mean, it's got a long way to go. But I will say that when it comes to the educational side, they nail it. They get it. Got to give them credit on the educational side. So, powering through that GI Bill, man. So anyway,
is it worth it?
Yeah, man. It's great, man. I'm up there, and it's really at this stage of my life, it's just a box to check, because where I work at, got a lot of younger guys. They spend the first 4 years of their life after high school grinding and partying their balls off through college. Not to take anything from it, but they're just going through the motions. That hell happens, don't even know what they really want to be when they grow up. And then some of us, come out of high school and saying, hey, man, I want to start making some money right out of the gates and do something with some regimentation and some structure. And,
not me.
When I was a guy, 21. Go ahead, buddy.
Not me, dude. No way. When I get out, I'm done. Done, dude. I'm done. I figure 30 years of service is good enough, and enough. I've seen enough and looked at enough and tasted enough to say done. And now I can go enjoy family and oh, whoa, another. Well, thank you, Pat. Pat just. Oh man. I would be honored, Pat, to come out and visit again at War Horses. Of course, definitely. Whoa, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get out. I'm done. I'll be done. There'll be no. Yeah, if you want to do like contract work or something like that, they work for like the DOD or something like that. Then but we'll see what's going on with that.
I mean that's totally cool. You know what? And it worked for me too. And it's just that I've been kind of sitting in a niche in the civilian world, and just kind of make sure I had a little more options at my disposal there. But nonetheless, man, hey, I was in the same boat, like I said, and it worked for me, In a lot of cases, setting a lot of jobs that, the requirements were, a 4-year degree. And I just showed up to the table and said, here's what I got. And they were like, okay, you're the guy, and it worked out. But nowadays, things get a little more competitive. And then there's more things I want to do. But it's cool, man. So enough about me. How's Baby Ice doing?
He is Baby Ice. He's doing. It was no, I will not be a hermit. Ow, things. I want to be a hermit. No, I'm just gonna some of the things that you miss out that you don't realize are important in life. Like you were talking about before with hanging out with the kids when we got the little ones, you realize, man, I missed a lot. And there's a lot of wow. It's just so yeah. Little ones. I don't know, maybe get a couple more wives or two. I don't know, see what happens. Start collecting like, how people play like baseball
cards.
Kind
of expensive, especially when you start collecting the X ones.
No way, dude. I diversify my bonds, man. I diversify my bonds. So I never have any issues with that, especially when you go through Wu-Tang Investments.
Wu-Tang Investments.
All right, man.
All right, but also, and then one last thing, I'm going to let
go
you
for
go
it.
there. I appreciated your commentary regarding the kind of the historical precedence of the whole Berlin Wall thing. Yeah, that's exactly how that deal fell. It just spread by like wildfire.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll get out of the North Korean situation, but in any case, it should be interesting. But a nice, interesting take on that. And Mom, I hope you're doing well. I hope you do finally get some decent, get some service. Good luck looking for that, cable modem and router and shit. So.
I don't know the difference. That's my husband's job to figure out.
Oh, I was gonna make an Asian comment, but I don't know if it'd be PC.
I'm trying to think if I have any one last thing that's of any humorous content here to actually roll with, but I just jumped in. You guys are certainly carrying your weight, and then I came in and slowed your roll. But I always appreciate what you guys do.
All right, Stank.
Keep up the great work. Hey, I missed your. Did you have a show on this Monday and then I missed it, or I think I looked for you and maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. Maybe it was Tuesday.
I was on. I was on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a fucking train wreck a week at work, man. I didn't know what fucking day of the week it was, starting Monday at around noon.
That's because you were being a college hippie.
All right, man. Hey, look, so we'll catch you guys later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Y'all have a good one. Take care and enjoy your Christmas. Yeah.
You too, man. Merry Christmas to you too.
All right.
All right.
Ciao.
Peace out.
Bye.
We got stanked.
Where's your button?
Hang on, it's buttoning right now. Here we go. You got stanked. Hello, I want to get stanked. You got stanked. There you go. Oh man. But anywho, yeah. So I would be honored to come out there, Patricia.
I would too, Miss Pat.
Pat.
I would love to.
Pat and Patrick, Corey, Eric, Gary, of course,
Andy.
The lovable Andy. Man, we had some great. That was a great time. I loved it. I would be honored. But yeah, no, we were talking about the Korean thing. It's just like whatever. It just. I hope. You know what? If it comes down to peace, and it happens, great, awesome, love it. And then we'll find out that Kim Jong-un will be accused of sexual harassment, or
that'll end everything.
Yeah, exactly. Knew it would be the. It would be one of those.
So do you think? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go for it.
I was gonna say, do you think, like, because you know how with Iraq we took out Saddam? Say whatever happens to North Korea, Kim Jong-un gets thrown in prison for sexual harassment. Do you think there'll be a vacuum?
No. Nope. You got to remember, and this is just a culture too. Culturally sound Asians are very, in that region right there. I shouldn't say Asians, but in that region, I'll say it. Asians, Chinese, Koreans, Japanese, Vietnamese. They're all pretty structured when it comes to something like that. There's no like heavy. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Everybody knows that once somebody goes and someone's ascended, that's it. There's no other drama. Albeit fucking like, not we're talking about Genghis Khan or something like that, but but exactly that. I was just about to say, Al, China will ensure that a proxy will be placed in there, just like it would be like Taiwan or something like that. Which they can have North Korea, because North Korea is the equivalent of North Fort Hood after the snow melts and it's all muddy and shit and it's just ass and nobody wants to be there. And so and then everyone's like, why are we fucking here? But we still want to send people there even though it's crappy.
Yeah.
So that's the way I equate it to. So if you're gonna give them more time, China will probably go in there, tell them to knock it off. The floodgates will open. We're gonna have to go into a heavy humanitarian assistance for them, because I think a lot of diseases that we thought were probably gone, just like we talked with Mr. Parasite Man, are gonna come back.
Oh yeah, because that one guy that did make it, he had like so many worms in his abdomen and other parasites.
Yeah, they said they were crawling out of his wounds as he because he got shot.
Ugh.
So could you imagine being the guys? Because there was American soldiers that helped them out. Could you imagine just like grabbing that dude and then you're picking him up and then next thing you know you're seeing
your squimmery things coming out?
Yeah, exactly. So you're seeing So, anyways. I didn't mean to gross you guys out, but I'm just giving you a taste of reality only Heist can give you. Yeah, it would be a vacuum, and then China would take it over, and then we would have to do a big. If you do like the what do you use it? How do I say this? There's gonna have to be a big demining campaign, because all those mines that have been set up there since 1953, once the DMZ was set up, we've mined the crap out of it. We have some pretty advanced mines too, and Korea has some advanced mines, and then Russians have come in there. So there's a lot of mines in that area. So that place right there would have to be almost a no man's land until those mines got cleared out. And it would be a large, humanitarian thing. The UN would, of course, since it was their fuck up.
Such a great help.
Oh yeah, exactly that, Pookie. That's exactly what kept them from bleeding out. Was the parasites.
Interesting.
Yeah, that would be. We just talked about that. What was the deal with the UN voting the Jerusalem, the U.S. embassy in Jerusalem? What did they vote? Did we know what the Security Council finally voted in? Did they vote in support of The U.S. moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Was that a go? You know, I only saw the vote about it at work. We're looking at the news and shit, and then I'm just wondering if it freaking.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm so much help right now.
No. I'm just trying to think, because at the time they were talking about it, it didn't happen, and then the next thing you know, they did. It didn't happen. So, I'm just curious now. What did the
John said that the UN decided not to, or Miss Pat saying it's a go. All right, U.S. sternly written memo.
Yeah. Wait, so Al, what you talking about, Al? We got conflicting reports. Come on, Al. Because I know that was a big deal. Everyone was talking about it because the president said that don't worry, we will know. We will know who fucking we will know who did it.
The UN, like, they could be against it all they want. Aren't we the ones that's funding the UN? Like, we're the main contributors to the UN.
Yeah. Okay, somebody just sent me this link. Thank you, guys. UN Jerusalem vote. The General Assembly rules against the U.S. declaring recognition of Israel capital null and void. Several Latin American countries and African nation countries abstain. What the hell does Africa have to do with it? What the hell does Africa? You are not going to believe this. The U.S. voted to move the embassy to Jerusalem. Is that really what you're gonna? Really? Africa? WTF Nation, you're right in there. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Okay. All right. We're almost done anyways. So and this is what everyone's saying right now. This, you can totally tell. This is what the Independent. Somebody sent me this article from the Independent because they love Trump so much. In a humiliating blow for Donald Trump on the world stage, the United Nations General Assembly has vetted by 128 to 9 to declare their controversial decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital null and void. Bunch of asshats. You get what's coming. Or how about what the president said? You will not get what's coming. He said he was going to make a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who didn't vote naughty or nice. And he's going to fucking get it. He's going to take your money. Do you know how much money that we were giving to all of these fucking countries? That like the president said.
Like Pakistan?
That stab us in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we support these? Why do we give them aid? Why are we supporting these guys if they're going to vote against us and all this shit? I love it.
That's like, when you're in school and you've got the lunch, the bully who's always taking the kids' lunch money, and the kids just give them the lunch money just to be their friends so they don't get picked on.
Oh, you mean like the
what we do.
Yeah, like to the Palestinian Authority or Iran. You know what I mean? Or Hezbollah.
Well, that mess.
Well, I mean, because the UN ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, said that, just like what the president said, we're going to be taking names. Anybody who who was criticizing our actions was going to be put on notice. Which, to me, the way I see it, was an act again that was, oh my God, that was enacted by a president in 1995 that was a Democrat. Everybody said that Trump's going to start World War III or destabilize the Middle East are the ones that voted it too. In 1995, the best part about being old, I was there. I remember that shit. So pulling back funds from countries that voted against it, you damn right. All that money, I guarantee it. Let's look. Let's do. I'll go over a little bit. I don't give a shit. Let's go over a little bit here on the aid given to countries that we
to
give
pay off our debt.
No, I'm just saying. But look at the money that we got. Like, say, for instance, hang on. Let me do some quick searchery here. Aid to foreign companies or foreign countries by U.S. Just throw a number out there.
20 trillion.
Do we give them 20 trillion?
I don't know. You said just throw a number out there.
Okay. So right now, U.S. foreign aid, according to let's see, according aid to foreign countries by So we give the U.S. foreign aid. We give to Afghanistan, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, the West Bank, Gaza, Ethiopia, Sudan, Malawi, Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, Russia, Iraq. What the fuck we giving Russia fucking foreign aid for? Tanzania, Mexico, Congo, Haiti, Lebanon, Somalia, Zambia, and then Sudan. Of course, important countries in the world stage right now that we really need to, they can just lick our ass on this shit. A lot of this stuff are for organizations a part of USAID, which is a fucking joke, is the Agency for International and Development. And they're the ones that come up with all these touchy-feely shits to implementing specific programs in foreign countries that they need to do here. We've established departments of commerce, agriculture, and defense and energy spending to the African Development Foundation. Well, guess what, Africa? You guys didn't want to part? Bye-bye. There's some money we'll take from you. Or listen, we'll get some money back. Well, more than happy to take the money back. What the hell's wrong with that? $60 billion a year. Thanks, Pooks. That was a rough number. I was doing beer math in my head. 60 million. Why? Do we get anything back? Oh yeah, we do get something back. We're stabbed in the back. We get stabbed in the back. So when Trump says we're going to take your money, or we're going to take our money back, then okay. If you go to USAID, if you go to Google and you go to USAID.gov and then look up U.S. foreign aid by country, you'll see exactly that, how much money we're giving them. Merry Christmas to you, Al. Take it easy. Have a good man. So all that money. So think about that shit. Could you imagine how much money we would save? Could you imagine how much America First programs we'd get? I bet you we would be able to finance and establish some sort of medicinal marijuana treatment. I'm going to have an explosive story coming out because there's somebody from the alcohol lobby that's keeping medicinal marijuana at bay too, I'm finding out. Yeah. Yeah. So that's medicinal marijuana research that could be established to find out what the, I guess you'd say, what is the matrix pill. And everyone talks about you can just pull out a pill. No, you can't. Because we would have made it already. Synthetic marijuana, they tried making that, and it's called spice, and it fucked everybody up.
Yeah. Didn't they end up eating people or each other or something like that? No, that's flaca. I'm sorry.
Flaca. The Spanish for a little skinny chick. Flaca.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not flaca.
Flaca. Well, I'm not Flacco either, so but no, all that money, fine. You can kiss my ass. The Palestinians, bye. When were you ever going to have peace with Israel anyways? You kept talking about it. We talk about, every time you see them on TV, this is aggression from the Israelis. Whoa, hang on, dude. Whoa, hang on.
What are you guys
doing? You guys start the fucking fight. Country can't defend themselves that we say that we are our allies with, and we give them every opportunity to defend themselves, and we support them 100%. Well, you don't understand, Ice. It's just the way the middle. Sorry, I've been all over the Middle East now, and I kind of figured out the dynamic. They all hate each other, and they all hate Israel. So if they want to try to do that, hey, you want to stop some aggression? Stop building some fucking tunnels underneath fucking the country to go across the border and all that, and then using kids in your fucking shit and talking about your propaganda wanting to kill Jews. You can kiss my ass about that. How about that?
Looking at you, Hamas.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I want to find out where fucking Yasser Arafat's buried so I can take a giant shit on him. That's bullshit. We don't kowtow to nobody. I'm gonna sit there and tell me, oh, well, you don't understand that this is the dynamic of... No. Politics is over. As soon as someone starts using violence against one of our allies that we're supporting, and then you spit in our face, and that's wait a minute, it's got funding. What isn't the UN? Isn't the UN? Isn't the UN being funded by us too? We're shutting the power off in your building there. You can't have that fucking building anymore. We're taking our building back. Sorry there. Yeah, didn't mean to piss off the General Assembly. I don't care. You know, Benjamin Netanyahu who's freaking sitting there telling, hey, what are you guys, nuts? You guys are not listening to what he's saying? That's what I'm saying. Everyone gets mad that the resolution that we were trying to pass was to help to build a baseline for a peace process there. That's what we were trying to do. We were using that to wake those fuckers up to say, hey, look, we're serious about this. We had enacted this. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of handshaking and head nodding going on within the State Department and the president back in the day. Oh, hey, how's it going, Ice?
More than that.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, buddy. How you doing? I heard you talk about me, Ice. I heard you do pretty good some impressions there. I heard you do a good W. But my biggest thing is that that was the whole thing. It was to create the baseline to get somebody to come to the table, and that's why it was enacted back in the day. And it was because we couldn't afford it. So much for that big government surplus that Clinton had, right? Didn't he have a big government surplus? That was the reason why it was held up every 6 months. Every 6 months, it was used for what? It was used for the purpose of awaiting funds or being fit into the budget to a logistic move from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. That's what it was. Done by the Clinton era, and as soon as it was announced that it was a surplus, we didn't hear anything else back. Meanwhile, Israelis are dying and having to endure a bunch of shit. And the next thing you know, they gave the fucking Nobel Peace Prize to fucking Asrafat. Are you fucking for real, dude? Are you really gonna sit so? Yeah, screw it. It's about time we America. If you don't want to be an American, then there's I'm pretty sure we can do a.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
We can open up a fundraiser on WTFNationRadio.com to buy you some plane tickets, and then that'll be it.
Just let us know when you have your yard sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's all we ask.
I need to get some more. Yeah, I need to get some. I need some furniture. I need to get another desk. Well, I'm competing with Smoke to have he's showing. It's like, hey, Ice, look at this.
Setups.
Yeah, he's showing setups of his stuff, and I'm like, God damn it, I want that. And then he's like, look at this, Ice. Wow, yeah. So I'm like, you know what? My desk is too small. I gotta have a bigger chair too. He has a lot of stuff that that he's throwing some keeping up with the Smoke when it comes to this type of equipment. That I'm like, man. So let me know, because I know Harvey Weinstein's gonna have a lot of shit to sell. I mean,
yeah, because I'm pretty sure once he pays all of his legal fees to keep him out of prison, he's gonna have a lot of civil matters to settle too.
I don't even know if there's movies. I mean, you better watch out, Star Wars characters. I'm pretty sure Chewbacca and R2D2 are gonna get freaking, and C-3PO are gonna get sexual assault or sexual harassment fucking accusations too. So I'm telling you, man, it's out of control. Oh, Pookie's getting his head. Exactly. There ain't no bad time to be an American. There is none. Every day is a good day. You know what? I would rather. You know what? I wake up every day, as a matter of fact, thanking. Oh my God, thanking that. Oh God, thank you so much that I'm American. I'm happy. I'm happy to be American.
I am too.
Nothing wrong with that. I can't wait for the Monday edition because we're going to talk about some statues.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
Well, I kind of figure. Wait, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. Oh man, we can't talk about that. Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Minx and we'll talk about it. So, oh yeah, because tomorrow's Pooks and Minx. I'm pretty sure those two are gonna go apeshit about it.
I almost said the same thing.
I'm gonna stoke the fire. I'm gonna go to the office, right before they broadcast.
I'll pop popcorn.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get some popcorn ready and throw some fire on that shit. So tonight we had Christopher Baity from Semper Canine. Awesome guest. Glad he was able to come on here and answer pretty much a lot of questions. I mean, and then in the discussion afterwards, of course, we had questions that we had more questions that he's going to come back on here and talk about. His expansion in the future. So we can't wait for him to get on. So tomorrow we're going to have Tex from A Rugged Saints Outdoors. Tex is going to be on to talk about how Rugged Saints Outdoors promotes healing and wellness for disabled veterans by providing them fantastic opportunities for special hunting and fishing. That's right. Man, this is awesome. I'm digging all this. This wellness stuff. This is veteran wellness. You know what I mean? When people say, "Hey, I go to the spa for wellness," what do you go to? War Horses for Veterans. What do you do to calm down? I get a dog from Semper Canine. What do you get most of your information from veteran stuff? WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army, WTF Moments, or the Veterans Report? What? You know what I mean? That's like
one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly. You know, oh, you got a Michael Kors bag, bitch. I got a War Horse for Veterans hat. What about you? What do you got? You know what I mean? And give me a War Horse for Veterans T-shirt. So don't be talking about that stuff unless you know it. This is awesome. This is the kind of stuff that we were talking about before that I was ranting about. Is the fact that I want us as the community to come together to get each other help. Don't just sit there and say, "Oh, I need some help," and be all fucking Debbie Downer and be a fucking drama queen and an attention whore, and then not do anything about it. Because then I'm just gonna ignore you after that. So, E4 tidbit, man. Upward post. Oh man. So aside from that, I want to. God, man, I'm not gonna see. I'm here from you guys until next Thursday. So
right,
I'll be in the chats. I'll be kind of hanging out. I might call in or I might jump in. You never know. I just it feels kind of cool to do this right before Christmas. Yes, we're not gonna have a Christmas show. However, a show over the weekend is encouraged. But you know, I think is Mink's gonna come on? Mink's gonna come on tomorrow. J Radio's doing it, right?
Yes.
And then
on Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday, and then we're gonna have the Stoners doing Sunday, with the Green Room, and then Monday's off, and then maybe Tuesday's off too. Like I said, it's like a 4-day weekend, so we want to kind of give the team a break and everybody else. So again, if you want to broadcast, the guys can broadcast, and it's not going to be mandatory. However, but from Thursday and Friday again for right before New Year's, then yeah, it's going to be the same schedule. So again, I will be in no shape to broadcast on New Year's Day. But
are you sure?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, God. Well, I'm gonna have the kids with me too, so I'm not gonna sit there. I gotta be careful.
Party hard.
Well, no, because my
baby ice.
That's what I'm saying. When baby ice has too much to drink, he freaking gets loud and likes to jump on. Because I keep my Christmas tree up until after like when New Year's done, like the day after New Year's is when the holiday decorations get put away. That's just the redneck in me, I guess. And so that way that we know that it's done, is all ready to go, and all that. So what Baby Ice likes to do is he likes to as soon as he sees decorations about ready to come down, he hauls ass and jumps in the air and tries to grab onto the tree. And so I know during New Year's he gets messed up, and he gets on that baby that milk, that the sippy cup buzz, and he's gonna go ape shit. So. So we got a show every night except for Wednesday. From 20 to 2300 Eastern Standard Time. We also have the taco truck on Tuesday and Thursdays from 12 to 1400. And then Wednesdays, you never know what you're gonna get. You may or may not get a webisode, a podcast, a streaming event from. You never know. You might see something popped up. We're kind of seeing what Wednesday is going to be like, a test platform. But I kind of like. I'll be honest with you. Taking that Wednesday
the day off.
Yeah, it's a block off. You know what I mean? Everyone's.
It's like refreshing.
It is. It's refreshing Wednesdays.
Like you get a mental break, and then your creative juices can start flowing again.
Oh, yeah. What you said. That's what you said. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you all coming on. Again, thanks for our guest, Christopher Baity from Semper Canine. Again, awesome show. And then, like I said, I'll probably play a couple tunes and then close out the mixer. And you never know, you might even get an after show. Maybe be an after-hour show with Kaz. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You never know. But anyways, you don't know unless you stay tuned. Go to WTFNationRadio.com. You'll see a donate button, too, if you want to kick in some cash to keep paying the bills. Because, we all do this for free. And we all do this with the blood, sweat, and tears to make sure you, the veteran community, active duty community, are given information and entertainment from your only true WTFNationRadio.com. On Facebook, U.S. Army WTF Moments. I'm out. See you. Shots.
Shots. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF.
The bitches, they love visuals.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show.
Definitely is all about the visuals, although pretty sure it's illegal.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.